everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our next episode of Eldritch Tide. Welcome back. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this evening. Everybody, if this is your very first time here joining us this evening, this is the Eldritch Tide, a D&D 5th edition live play of Eldritch Terror and Pulp Mystery. And I am joined by 5 amazing, fantastic players tonight who are going to continue our wonderful campaign after a week break. Thank you all so much for that break while we deal with some IRL things. But we are so incredibly excited to be back tonight with all of you. That being said, let me introduce you to our wonderful, fantastic players. We're going to go ahead and start things off in the top left corner of my overlay here with the amazing Sinziak playing Caden Wintergate.
Okay, I don't think I'm on mute this time. Aha, aha. Right. So, hi, my name is Sinziak, your resident variety streamer focused on story-based games and RPGs and Metroidvanias, with a bit of multiplayer mayhem because sometimes we're just chaos gremlins. You can find me here, on Twitch most of the time on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. For example, tomorrow, literally tomorrow.
And a little bit about your character that you are playing, Caden Wintergate.
Well, Caden Wintergate, who has been keeping notes on absolutely nothing whatsoever, is a person who just works at the bureau and tries to get home on time so that his partner and child do not worry about him. Although they might have to sooner rather than later.
Much sooner rather than later.
Hmm. Hmm.
Next in line, we have the absolutely fantastic and on brand Kill Cannon playing Kill Cannon.
Hi everyone, my name is Kilcannon. On Twitch, I stream a lot of Dead by Daylight. You'll typically find me on my channel Thursdays through Sundays. Um, but in terms of my character Kilcannon, it is a lawful evil warforged artificer with a curse sort of bend to his playstyle. So lots of sabotage, really just a not terribly pleasant person to be around, which you will probably find out very soon.
Oh, he's a wholesome baby. What do you
Just
mean?
Mhm.
secretly with like the most marshmallowy center ever.
A real love machine.
But we just never
Mm.
love machine. With that beautiful transition there, everybody please welcome the amazing, fantastic Fenris playing Ludwig de Alba.
I am Fenris. On Twitch you can catch me streaming a variety of things, but most recently doing a lot of just talking and reading. Um, and you can catch me Friday through Monday, 3 p.m. I'm playing Ludwig, and Ludwig is has big golden retriever energy. He is a cleric, listening to the silence, a entity and being that only the Kalishtar can hear and listen to. And he got to know a little bit more about them last week, and maybe we'll learn a little bit more later.
Next in line, we have the fantastic Wreck-It Raven playing Rakra.
Hey y'all, I'm Raven. Y'all can find me anywhere online at Wreck-It Raven. I play a lot of co-op horror games. I also have been playing a lot of Apex lately. Don't know how I went from one to the other, but here we are, and I'm equally trash at both. But I do something even better than that. I have very serious discussions about social issues that need to be discussed, and that is always a really amazing and enlightening and inspiring time. I play Rockra, who is like tall babe, 6'5", half orc, like dealing with some stuff right now, still kind of teetering on the edge of what she may or may not be. Um, so we'll see what happens.
Also, I have to let you know, Raven, the captions keep autoing Rakra to Rockruff. So clearly the
That
captions
was
have
my
played.
nickname in college.
Clearly the
There we go.
captions have played plenty of Pokemon and are here for it.
Yes, we
In-
love it.
I think, Wes, you were a Rockruff in one of my Nuzlocks.
I
actually.
was, but we're not going to talk about it because you killed me. It's okay.
Sure did.
Oh,
Next, rounding out our fantastic group, we have the wonderful Zeffy playing Velray.
yes, it me, Zeffy, and I play a lot of video games with very thick plots. I even have an emote that says thick. It'll vibrate. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be playing some Final Fantasy 14 because guess what? You're looking at a homeowner of a medium plot in Ishgard.
Congratulations.
So I gotta like decorate it. So tomorrow I'm gonna be like deciding on like the color scheme, and I don't know if I should have a theme, that sort of thing. So if you like that, totally tune in. And I play Velray, an elf who is recently, well, revealed to everyone that she's an Eldrin. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious, but going into that background more. And yeah, she's a Congress rep for the people.
Absolutely fantastic. And everybody watching along, you can actually help influence the game itself and help support and or terrorize all of these wonderful, fantastic players through the wonderful machinations of our Nightmare Game. Our Nightmare Gauge is powered by Pally GG, and you are able to tip these 5 players directly. Everything that is raised through our Nightmare Gauge is actually split amongst the players themselves to help thank them for their time and efforts that they spend here every week playing this game, putting in work on their characters, working on the story behind the scenes, all of that. So every single bit raised towards the Nightmare Gauge helps support them. And the absolute best thing about it is every single time we fill our Nightmare Gauge, a moment of eldritch terror and horror is unleashed upon the players. Like last week, when we unleashed a Nightmare Gauge within 30 minutes of the stream starting and revealed to Ludwig the exact nature of the silence and how the insectoid spectral entities acted in a parasitic way to he and all of his kind. So, if you would like to introduce terrifying moments of terror upon these lovely, beautiful beings, you can help tip directly to that link there through !nightmare. The other thing to note is our game is a game of horror. We do a lot of horror elements with this game. It is D&D, and there is a lot of fun to it. We do like to have moments of silly lightheartedness to help break things up, but there are real, true moments of horror and terror. Tonight, for tonight's game, things are going to be a little bit more subdued in that realm, as we do have very specific goals in mind as our heroes set out to infiltrate a magical institute. So a lot of the previous elements that have been through the past couple episodes are going to be set aside, as we do have a very direct goal and option in mind. However, we do want to raise awareness to the fact that there will be content warnings for the horror, as we do have elements of hallucinations, sensory deprivation, and body horror in our game tonight. If those at any point become too much for you, please feel free to take a step back and separate yourself from the game for a little bit. We want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable in joining us for this game. Thank you so much for the $5 donation to our Nightmare Gauge to get us started off. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful tip. That truly, truly does mean a lot. And we are here tonight to help make that as fun as possible. And we are here to help celebrate all of these wonderful, wonderful players. So thank you so, so much to whoever got us started off with that this evening. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of the Eldritch Tide, titled The Umbranaeum. Last we left off, our players combined together, arriving at the outskirts of the Skane Yard, the merchant district of the capital city of Ichthys, the capital city of the prime confluence, as they continued their investigation into what exactly this half moon masked cult was up to. They were sent there by the Hag Coven of the Descent in search of one of their sisters who had set off on her own, named Auntie Sands. It was on their way that Caden Wintergate recently revealed, not to any of the players, but to our audience, as Agent 6 with the Bureau, was trailed by one Scarlet, a gossip columnist and journalist who had continued to investigate the Bureau and the recent goings on around the city. At the behest of Caden, Scarlet made her appearance known to the rest of the group, and upon the very, very effective and stern intimidation of Rakra, was sent scurrying into the wind as a horde of insects. As our group finally made their way into the fourth Hag Sisters' home, the five individuals, our five investigators, came face to face with Auntie Sands, who promised to lead them through dreams so that they may further learn more about what's currently going on and more about themselves. Through this, some of our players were able to learn that whatever was going on had direct ties specifically to the Isinglass Institute, specifically to the Isinglass Institute before the actual coming of the tide. And that it seems that this prophet mage, Isinglass, had some type of knowledge about the tide before it even began. As they all came to through their dreams, they had agreed that infiltrating the Institute was their best way to learn more about this, and were gifted from Auntie Sands the blueprints to the Institute, which seemed to showcase that there was further developments underneath the school than had previously been anticipated. They decided that the best way to do this would be to infiltrate through the floating library, the Athenaeum, through Rakra's connection. And in doing so, would need disguises to be able to pass themselves off as students or faculty among those in the Isinglass Institute. And were given the contact of a tailor and fashion designer in the Skane Yard with which to be able to procure additional help, with Caden being able to utilize their efforts from the Bureau in factoring documentation to provide their alibis to get into. Our group eventually made their way to the outskirts of this tailor shop. As they arrived, they found a two-story, almost Victorian-esque townhome that seemed to be perfectly placed alongside one of the alleyways of the Skane Yard, almost avoided on all sides by all other businesses, when in previous iterations of the Skane Yard, all through the various streets that they've seen, everything seemed to tumble on itself and connect to itself, and yet everything seemed to steer clear of this one home. It was here that they saw a number of beautiful and fashionably dressed mannequins in the window. And as they arrived on the outskirts, the front doors open, the heads of these mannequins turned and ushered our investigators in. And that is where we pick up tonight.
I don't wanna go in that those they looked at me.
They also
I'm
kind of
looking at
smelled
you right
funny.
now. Like, we're fine. Let's just go. Ani Sands has kept their word so far.
I mean, all right.
I'll protect you. We got this.
We'll be fine.
Rocker just kind of like looks at everybody and like shifts in like her stance and like puts the
Hey,
shoulders back.
hey, Rockro, would it make you feel better if I went first?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of just walk a couple paces ahead of the group so that, if something happens, they'll get me first before they get anyone else.
And I
Kilcan is
kind
okay
of
with this.
huddle like kind of close, but like far away enough to not like be in Caden's bubble.
Okay. So as Caden and I'm assuming Velray as well, who seemed not particularly like bothered by this. As the two of you kind of like help lead the group further inward. Um as you broach through the double doors that opened on their own accord into the shop, as the two of you step forward, you can see on either side of the entryway there are these mannequins. You see that they are faceless and featureless. They each are wearing these beautifully dressed, beautifully fashioned outfits. Wonderfully tailored. You see one, this very, very curvaceous, uh, like very full bodied mannequin, like completely featureless, like, and other one, this almost like wire thin, almost unnaturally so, a little bit taller than the other, Rockra almost rivaling your height. As you both walk in, Velray and Caden, you watch as these two mannequins both turn their featureless, faceless heads to each of you, and you can see a good bit of like stitching that curves up the chest and up the neck, and you watch as there is this faint, almost stitching line around the featureless face that continues all the way up. And they both turn, and you can see what looks like a hand, but it looks like all of the fingers themselves have been almost glued shut, save for the thumb itself. And both look at each of you, Caden and Velray, with a bit of a come forward, and they each like wave a hand open into the rest of the shop. You can see this beautiful array of rows and rows of clothing. You can see suits. You can see dresses. You see tunics. You see all manner of varying different arrays of fashion, all in the heightest of fashions from across Ichthus. And far across the way, something you didn't anticipate seeing in almost the center of the shop is what looks like a dissection table, uprighted, with
Mm-hmm.
another one of these faceless, featureless mannequins, like standing completely inert, like glued down palms on either side. And you see on a stepladder a almost halfling sized individual. You see a heavy, heavy shaved up side about halfway up, with this like intricate design shaved inside the hairline. Um, and you see cascading down the other side, these heavy, heavy, dark braids that almost reach halfway down their halfling back. You can see them wearing like a simple set of like beautiful black overalls, almost like a jumpsuit of sorts, and this very simple, very almost like quarter sleeve white button up shirt. And they have a bit of like measuring tape, and they are like taking measurements on this mannequin. And you look forward, and you can see, now that you see the mannequin in like full display, you see the fact that this looks like a human body. You can see various bits of stitching across various different sections of the flesh. It is bare. It does not have any clothing or covering on it, and it is merely standing there like at attention, awaiting the measurements that this tailor is.
I just kind of turn behind me and go, yeah, I think it's okay. Nothing has happened so far. If y'all want to come in here.
We do observe clothing.
Velray, you hear a clearing of the throat from the small halfling figure that's taking the measurements, and says, "My darling, if you refer to my works of art as clothing one more time, you can kindly leave my shop."
Well, how would you prefer for us to refer to these masterpieces that you were making?
Exactly as that, my darling. Masterpieces, works of art, one of a kind garments that would dare to dress your form. And she turns to you, and you can see a very small, like half moon set of spectacles hanging off of the very like tip of her nose. And she turns back to the mannequin-esque figure and says, "You're excused. You may go in the back now." And you watch as the figure like turns, nods to the small halfling, and begins walking into the back room.
Your models are very lifelike.
Lifelike is a very fun word to use for my girls.
So,
While they're talking, I'm just gonna be wandering around and feeling the fabric and just wandering and seeing what's in the shop altogether.
Kilcannon, give me a investigation or a medicine check, whichever is better.
um, so I suppose introductions are in order. My name is Caden.
I am Valerie. My apologies for earlier.
It's fine, my dear. You're you're a Congress person, if I not fam- am I mistaken?
You were not mistaken. You were correct.
I've worked with a number of your colleagues. All of them are dreadfully dull, but I enjoy your style. You have a certain flair to yourself.
Thank you. She blushes.
I just
Kilcannon, what was your investigation or medicine check?
And while I hear her say that, I'm miming flair for flair, while I'm walking around. 16 was my check.
16. As you are wandering through the store, you actually manage to like check out a number of pieces, and these are all beautifully made. There is not a stitch out of place. All of them are the finest fabrics that they can be crafted from. And you notice something else a little bit odd. Um, you are augmented. You are of those who have had augmentation done to you. You realize through looking through the shop that these mannequins are not augmented themselves. These seem to be like crafted constructs. And you have only seen this a few other times. These appear to be all various forms of flesh golem. that this shop owner has created herself and utilized as living mannequins and living dolls.
So sort of taking dead flesh and animating it into something that can operate on its own.
Correct.
Okay. Um, I call out to her. Interesting choice on your help, if I could call them that.
She takes a second and turns to you and kind of like, even though the half moon spectacles are already peered down, she takes a second to like dip them down and peer down at you for a second. And she says, "Well, it takes one to know one, my dear." And she pulls back the collar of her shirt, and you can see the heavy stitching that runs up her throat and connects to her jawline.
Okay. Okay. Um, when I notice this, I reach into my pocket and I start pulling out one of my tools and I just start fiddling with the flash of something that looks a little goldish bronze. One might say if they saw it close enough was one of my little scarabs.
Okay, perfect. She turns to the other four of you and says, "Dahlia. Dahlia is the name. Lovely to meet you all. What brings you to my beautiful shop?"
Well, we are
Well,
in need of masterpieces for an upcoming event.
Oh,
We would love. Sorry, continue.
which event would this be? Is this one of the local galas? Is this one of the upcoming holidays? There are so many these days that I just can't keep forward.
We would love to cosplay students for the Isengard Institute. And we want to be the best.
And Rockra is just kind of like sitting there, like, I shouldn't say things. So, like, she's purposely like averting her gaze.
You see Dahlia take a look over at you, Velray. Velray, give me a deception check.
Okay. Ugh, sorry, I can't see. Where's deception? Oh, there it is. Okay. 18.
She takes a quick second, and you can see that she, like, peers down her glasses once more at you, but she doesn't press it. She just kind of, like, accepts it and moves on. She goes, "Very well. Are you looking to be able to show off various different elements of the Isinglass Institute's garb? For instance, my dear." And you watch as she goes and she walks over to, she like steps down off of her little step stool. And she walks over to one of the she walks over to one of the shelves and she goes and she picks out a jacket of sorts. And you watch as she like puts on the jacket and then she brushes her hands down. And you watch as she does, you watch the fabric of the jacket slowly turn and it creates the like Isinglass Institute's like blazer almost. And then she takes a
Impressive.
second, and then she takes a second, and she puts her hands at the top, and she brushes it down once more, and it creates the image of like a different type of blazer.
Thoughts, everyone. I really like the first one, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm going in the way I look now.
Yes.
I mean, and then I just kind of like sink.
He goes, "Oh,
I just,
my dear, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you don't have to choose." And she like puts her hands up once more, and she like brushes her hands down and it turns back once more, and you can see half of it looks like the isinglass blazer and half of it looks like the first one.
I
And as she
believe this
takes
is.
it off, it
Mm.
turns back to just the standard blazer before. Because this is sewed with glimmer weave. You're able to make this appear like any type of article of clothing you would like it to, provided it's still in the same general shape and form. I have quite a few pieces here. I have robes, I have shirts, I have trousers, I have hats. Quite a few made with glimmer weave. If you are, as you are saying, cosplaying.
Um, so this is a DM question. DM. Do for what did the I'm gonna put this in quote here, cult members look like? Were they mostly in like robes and hoods, or did they have any other distinguishing things
They
going on?
wore open robes, so they weren't like closed like full bodied like robes. They were like a long open robe that was over just like tradition like any kind of garb.
So
Uh
like looking like you just came out of like your master's program or something like that kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Well, I can absolutely say for certain that I would be very interested in a blazer, pair of trousers, and one of these robes over here.
All in the glimmer weave.
Um, yes, please and thank you.
She gives a little bit of a like, hmm. I must say, it has been some time since a member of the Bureau has frequented my establishment.
And immobile, yeah, because they have no taste. So
You know, hold on.
She takes like a full
Are you
cold
saying
turn
that
and she just holds up like a full finger to Caden and
actually,
she
hold on.
turns to Kilcan and she goes,
Can I hear that Kilcannon just said that?
I did.
I'm gonna say sure.
Okay. I would say as you know, like as our halfling friend is turning toward Kilcannon, I would say, quite honestly, given our uniforms about half the time, I cannot say that he's entirely wrong. They could use an update.
She just holds up a finger and she turns to Kilcan and she goes, "You appear to be quite the opinionated little thing. By all means, out with it."
I don't have time for all of this nonsense. We just need to get in, get this facsimile of an outfit, and get the heck out of here. Okay? The longer I spend with these people, the more I just itch from incompetence just surrounding me.
She
Rapper then
gives
kind of goes over and like tries to hug Kilcannon and like
Like
put her head on
I'm
top
in
of
the
his head.
I'm in the background, literally mimicking Kilcannon word for word at this point, but silently.
she just does a quick stop and she goes, and Kilcannon, give me a, I don't know, like a charisma saving throw.
13.
13. For a second, you feel as if this small halfling woman is taller in size than Rakra. You feel her entire persona just fill the room, glaring down at you. You feel this shudder up your spine as this woman just locks eyes with you, never lets up, and then suddenly the feeling is gone. And she's just standing there, and she kind of like cocks her head to the side. She goes, "Of course, my dear. Not a word."
Whenever she turns around, I casually let something slip out of my hand and it scurries off.
Wonderful. Kilcannon, can I have a sleight of hand check from you, please?
Oh, thank goodness. 23.
Beautiful. Very, very easily done. You masqueraded as a bit of a like a shutter, and you let the scarab loose from your hand, and it scurries down your pant leg and manages to find itself like underneath some of the racks. It does the kid thing where it hides in between like one of the circular racks where there's all the clothes around it, and it's like, ooh, if I get inside, nobody knows I'm here. Your scarab does exactly that.
You guys still don't
Love
do that?
it. Can I go shopping with you sometime?
Yeah.
Sometime IRL.
We end up shopping, and all of a sudden we're like, "Where's Faye?" Boom. Gotcha. So slowly you watch as Dahlia makes her way through the shop, and almost with a uncanny deft eye is able to make her way through and acquire various different pieces, and you can see they all have this almost like black incandescent shimmer to them as she hands each of you a robe, shirt, and trousers, all made from the glimmer weave. Even you, Rockrush, he like reaches over and hands the pieces over to you and says, "I know you said that you were intending to go as you look, but not to worry, just in case." And as she hands it to you, she looks over and says, "Do give Auntie Sans my regard."
Okay, I will be sure to do that. Thank you. And Rocker just kind of like looks at it. Like, this is obviously the most expensive thing that Rocker has ever touched in her life. So she's just kind of like treating it like it's a baby and like not moving. Do I fold this?
Oh, not a worry, it's all wrinkle-free fabric.
Oh. I just snap it shut. And I'm like I'm easily entertained. Okay? So I'm just like staring at it. And then I'm like,
Every time you pull your hands apart, it's in a different shape. So like you pull it apart and it's like this like bright, vibrant green robe. You close
then-
your hands, you pull it apart, and it is a like bright it's like a beautiful, almost like night sky black with
And I,
like a
like-
little star.
at this point I'm like, ah, woo, woohoo. And I like run over to Ludwig and I'm like,
Yeah. It's so cool, right?
this is probably the happiest Rocker has been in like the last 48 hours.
Seeing Rakra playing with it like that, I'll kind of like look over it and I'll be like, is it dry cleaning or
Oh, absolutely. Do you think you can just throw anything that I hand you in the wash?
You,
Don't answer
you-
that.
okay, I won't, but yes. And then I kind of
Oh.
like just start walking towards the door.
As we do go, do you have any care instructions for these masterpieces?
She gives a little bit of a smirk. She says, "Don't hold the shape too terribly long, whichever one you do decide. And absolutely make sure you get it dry clean."
Okay. I don't know what that
Right.
is, but I'll do it.
She goes,
Dry-
"And
Mhm.
Please give Auntie Sans my regards. I know she'll be sending payment for you
I
all shortly.
I have
Ah,
I have do you need money?
Oh,
um,
I have no need for your money.
um, we will be sure to give Auntie Sands that particular message.
Hmm.
As she says this, you actually watch as the first mannequin-esque golem figure from before slowly walks out from the back entrance and places herself back on the like dissection table to begin like getting measured once more. Says,
I just,
"Oh,
hmm?
go ahead."
I was going to say, unless they say anything else, I'm going to walk out the door and let them get back to work.
She calls back. She says, "Do enjoy your time cosplaying. I'm sure it's going to be plenty fun, and should you run into any trouble, I'm always looking for more girls." Gives you a little bit of a like, not even looking back behind her, just gives you a little bit of a wave.
Hmm.
Thanks, Dahlia.
Over
This
my
one
dead
seems,
body.
this one seems like the kind of person that we should bring stories back to. I also, if Ludwig says that out loud, I say, be careful what you wish for.
As you say that, Ludwig's like finger gun. He's like slowly like puts it away. Like you're right.
That's a good idea, my dear. Holster that one.
At this point, Rockra is like both like amused and creeped the fuck out. So like I have progressed outside already. I have left everybody
Yeah,
in there.
I definitely stealthed out of there because I was not having any of this. I was just like, no, I am not a part of this nonsense.
Kilcannon said, "Oh, I got caught up." Nope. We're just gonna.
So I catch up with the rest of the group, and the first thing I ask is, now before we leave, did anybody need to go back and get anything?
Nope. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Sorry, Caden. Didn't mean to yell. But no. I'm not going fucking in there ever again. I don't like it. It makes me feel ooky. But this is cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Rakra, as you look back, you actually look over, and one of the mannequins in the window gives you a closed-handed like wave.
All right. And then like I just kind of like tuck the cloth away and I like pick up my pants and straighten out my robe and I'm like, I gotta go now. And I just start walking.
But before we leave, hey, when do we want to meet up to take care of affairs?
I don't hear you. I'm walking. I've
Wait.
Rakra, you're
I
just beelining it to
I
your
am
section for like you know the so where you enter the library, you actually you originally found it like haphazardly.
mhm.
You know that one of the entrances into the library is actually a doorway far underneath the floating library itself. It's a doorway that like is magicked to lead into the library itself. So
Okay.
it's like amongst some of like the destroyed buildings and the rubble. And you one day and you're like curious, I'm in a town where I've never been before. You like happen to open the doorway and like walk into this like floating library.
Yes.
So you were just
Perfect.
like beelining it. You're like,
I'm
no,
gone.
no.
Like, I don't even know if I'm going there. I just know that I need to get away from this because this is too much for me. Like, yes, I have studied very terrifying things and have messed with the unknown, but this, not on this day. Nope. No, sir, ma'am, either and either. We are gone.
So just so I'm aware, Rockra draws the line at flesh golem fashion mannequins.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, great. I
Absolutely
just
no.
I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we
How
were where we were at.
something. That's fair.
I think honestly, when do you think the best? I mean, we should probably. Do we want to go in there like when they're open? Like I think that's the idea, right? Like we like in the morning time maybe, or like this is a nighttime thing, I assume.
It's about like midday for y'all.
We could go now.
Well, I suppose if we don't have any additional preparations we need to make, now would be as good a time as any.
Well, what do we expect when we get there? I mean, what possibly could be there that we would need to be prepared for?
Just the
Crap, you
tide.
shouldn't have walked away.
Well,
Thanks.
what should we be prepared for? Probably a basement full of cultists, a couple of people who are practitioners of magic, and likely a couple of places that are very heavily guarded because they contain either secrets or history that we're not supposed to know. Typical floating magical library kind of nonsense and shenanigans.
Yep, yep. Well, I mean, I went there. I don't think it was as serious as Ropra, but we could, if you get caught alone, just say you're here for like a seminar, or I don't know, some specific study of yours if you're magically inclined.
Well,
I mean, for the sake of being thorough, shouldn't we at least observe the school and see the comings and goings to see how it would make sense for us to approach?
We could ask
if
Ropra,
it does
wherever
make
she
you feel
is.
better, Kelly Cannon, one of the things that I need to go pick up on the way over there are one, a couple of falsified documents for your ease of movement, and two, a set of schematics.
That's perfect.
I
So
was
maybe
trying to be
we
I was
part
trying to be useful,
ways
but
and
only
and
today.
spend some people observing the outside just to understand what's going on in normal while you do your nerd thing.
You know something? One, I volunteer you because I think someone has a fascination with secrets and libraries, but doesn't want to tell anybody.
I have no problem not being part of this shenanigan right here.
This may be the first and only time that I get to say this, so I'm going to make it count. Kilcannon, you are officially adorable. I will see you all when I get back from the office. And I just head to the office.
I start furiously tinkering with the scarab as I stalk off.
And I like if anybody walked past me, like I am now at this other like shop where there's like different things that are like I don't know, there's like smoke and like colorful smokes and incenses and stuff. And I'm just like, ooh, what's that? It's pretty.
They've gone to a glass
Just
blowing demonstration.
basically.
Perfect. So, so Caden, you head back, and you're easily able to, through your background and through your work with the bureau, you're easily able to acquire falsified documents, because I mean, technically they're falsified, but you do actually have the official documentation of what you would require. It's just for not the right reasons. So I guess technically they're incredibly legal. So, Caden, I'm actually gonna say because of the nature of your work, can I get a deception check made at advantage?
Oh, deception.
Deception. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Not
no, not
not
these
hitting me
woes,
with the Lion
please.
King too.
Desperate.
No.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry.
Hold on for a moment.
Don't apologize.
Can I
That's
have
great.
can I have like a
Yep.
background feature for this? Hold on.
I'm so glad somebody else immediately goes to the Lion King too when I say deception. So thank you
Yes,
so much for
absolutely.
making me feel validated. Thank you for that moment.
Of course.
Okay, so the deception roll at advantage was a 13.
Okay. So we'll keep that in mind as we like go through it. Um
Mm,
do you have uh uh do you have
It's the false
proficiency in
identity
deception?
background.
Yeah, no.
I do. I do have proficiency in deception. Yes.
Okay. So that's totally fine. So this is just going to be for like that's going to be able to get you past like basic level.
Mhm.
So if there is anybody who is going to be like actively curious and is like actively going to be studying these documents, you'll be able to make your own like deception check for. So this will
Okay.
get like the 13 plus the documents is going to be able to get y'all past like basic level of like inquiry because you have the official documentation. You know where to put the falsified information, so on and so with your knowledge of like, okay, this is technically an official document. This is what I have to fake. Like you're easily able to um do you acquire these documents yourself or do you have somebody else acquire them for you and then you fill
Hmm. Do I fill them out, or do I have other people do it? I think I would actually do it.
like you would go and acquire the documents and fill them out?
I think I would fill them out. And so, as far as acquiring them goes, hold on. I know that I have her name here somewhere, but basically, I would ask the office assistant if she could acquire them.
Oh yes. So give me 2 seconds. I will gather. I will gather the name of the. Give me 2 seconds. And Deathlight, thank you so much. We actually are using the wonderful Google Meets as our video and captioner service. And it allows us to be able to actually have everybody's captions all together. Really fantastic. I highly suggest it. Virali.
Yep, you're alive. There we go.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Um, would you like Virali to do this just as like a standard job affair, or would you like to inquire Virali do this as like a personal matter?
Considering how I know this stuff goes, what I would say is to please acquire these things. They are for official company business, but because of who asked me, to be as discreet as possible. This, and I just kind of tell her this is kind of a special request from our HR department. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them because no one in our office likes talking to the HR department.
As you mention HR, she kind of like gives a little bit of a like, oh, absolutely, of course, Mr. Wintergate. I'm so sorry, absolutely, 100%.
And so I am sure you can imagine that it is of utmost importance that we do this, um, you know, as quickly and efficiently as possible. So please be
And
careful out there.
Viralai quickly goes and gathers them and says, "I hear you. I gathered. I took care of it. I gathered whatever. Like, and you can see that she almost appears to be like more like overtly discreet than necessary. Like she gets the idea where she's like, oh, this is the one chance that I get to be like, it's okay. She's like, I'm gonna go on my break now, everyone. It's fine. I'm gonna go take my break now. And she like
What a precious
she
baby.
hands it. Viralai doesn't know how in depth the bureau goes, but also Viralai just wants to feel a part of something.
Relatable.
So she absolutely hands you over the documents and she kind of like gives you like an overt, like obnoxious wink as she does so. And then she like flips her little desk sign around to be like on break and she like walks away. And you're quickly able to discreetly fill out the forms and head back and reconvene with the rest of the group. Now
I
Kilcan.
do
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I do check the paperwork to see if they have any notes about any particular location, like about like how the general school is laid out, because I want to at least move as a person who knows where things are, because that draws less suspicion.
Yes, yes, perfect. So go ahead and give me either an insight or a history check. History is usually the thing that I use whenever you're like reading books or like studying document. Like it's like my general go-to like intelligence. We're going to learn some things. I like using that for
Okay. So between history or insight, I will tell you I have a higher bod for insight, so that's the one I'm going to use.
Okay.
That is a 15 on that roll.
15, great. So you can look in and you can see the documentation that's placed before you. There is a notation that there is a large central fountain statue on the second floor that acts as a like guide. You actually see there are no stairwells around the institute. Whoever designed this is some type of like awful, terrible architectural devil, because they don't have any stairwells whatsoever between the floors. Everything is via teleportation. So the library teleportation section that leads directly into the institute itself connects to this like central second floor fountain hub. And then from there, they are able to teleport around. And there is, and you can kind of like see on the provided documentation that you're going to be looking for the area of teleportation that is in the east wing of the first floor. That will eventually dead end into a statue. And you can see on the ground plans that you were provided, it appears to be a dead end. But you also recall from the ground plans that Auntie Sands gave you that there appears to be an entire other, like the building itself extends about 10 feet beyond where that dead ended statue is. And it doesn't show any basement flooring below it. So that appears to be your best bet as to like, hey, everything else roughly dead ends at the outskirts of the building. This statue dead ends 10 feet before. Something's
Okay.
beyond it. And that's going to be
Okay.
found in the east wing of the first floor.
Okay. Am I making tons of notes? Probably like one or two. Just
Just
like a subtle little star
just
like
a
right
few,
there.
just a few, that's fine. So
Okay.
as you make those notes, whenever we return back to the rest of the group, Kilcannon, I know you wanted to try to get a look at the outskirts of the building itself. Aside from everybody else, did anybody else wish to go with Kilcannon or just meet up with Rakra and head to the location that Rakra had mentioned, where they would be able to gain you all entrance into the library?
If possible, I'd like to trail Kilcannon.
I would join too,
Espionage.
if
Sorry.
you're amenable to that,
Yeah,
Ludwig.
yeah. I'm no professional. You probably just see me like waltzing, like like trying to be sneaky, but probably not doing a great job. But we'll see.
Do you think this is worth us passing without a trace?
Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. Yes.
I was low-key really hoping you would get to cast this spell this week.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
So, Kilcannon, whenever you are heading to the outskirts of the Institute, are you attempting to stealth, or are you just like you just have a mission? You're gonna like trail the outskirts just to try to get a good
Are
idea
there
of
any
it.
like businesses or shops in the area around it?
So, the area around the institute itself, it is found within what essentially equates to like the magical district. So, unlike the Skane Yard that has like a ton of general goods, you're gonna find a lot of like apothecaries, like magic item enchanters, scroll work, booksellers, all manner of individuals around the institute itself. So you can easily, it's a good distance away. I would say it's probably like 200 to 300 feet away from like the gated entrance to the actual institute itself. But you can easily find a like bookseller that you can like haphazardly or like half-heartedly like
I
look
I'm
in from.
going to I'm going to pop into a a shop that's pretty sleepy looking. The sleepiest looking shop that I can find. And I'm gonna cast Disguise Self.
Okay. Um, interesting. Since Velray, since you had cast Pass Without a Trace on you and Ludwig to
Mhm.
trail Kilcannon, can I get stealth checks from each of you first, and you get to add 10 to your result of whatever the stealth check was?
I'm gonna pull my hood up, by the way, so I have advantage
Of
I'm gonna
course.
for my
cast
elven cloak.
guidance on myself. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I got disadvantage.
So Ludwig, you're gonna get an extra D4, and then you're also gonna add 10 to the roll. Velray, what
I did
did you
not roll
get?
good. Ooh, I did not roll good. I mean, 17 total.
That's still pretty good. Like
Yeah.
that's why Pass Without a Trace is a ridiculous
And to be fair,
spell.
like I'm not trying to say that I know that they're following me. Like in my
Mhm.
mind, I was wanting to not, if I was lurking around the outside of the institute, my intention is to not be known as myself whilst
Yes,
I'm doing
yes.
some snooping.
Makes
So
I'm
sense.
I'm
just want to
I'm
make sure
just
that that's I'm
Yeah.
I'm
not
just
being like,
making sure
I know
if
that they're following me. You know, it's
depending on how good the two of them do, is how much they would be able to like maintain enough visual distance from you so they would be able to see you before you cast Disguise Self.
okay.
So in case they like lose you. Ludwig, what did you get?
So I have disadvantage, and my first roll was an 18, and my second roll was a 5. But 5 plus 4 on my guidance, that's a 9 plus 10, that's 19. Come
That
on.
okay.
Better than me?
That's math, baby.
You know, I am not one of those math queers.
There's not many of us. It's okay. It's
I
all
can
I
at
mean,
right.
least
we have one, so I'll take it.
Don't praise me for simple addition, please.
So, as the two of you trail Kilcannon, I'll say you just managed to catch eyes with Kilcannon before Kilcannon does disguise self. Um and so the two of you were kind of like at the outskirts along some shop areas, and Kilcannon, as you kind of like step into the shop disguising yourself and looking around some of the like the bookshelves and things like that, and keeping your eyes out on the entrance to the institute. Go ahead and give me I'll say a perception or an insight check, whichever is better.
They're both wisdom. I don't like this.
You're the one who wants to do like a lookout position.
Okay. No, it's fair. I got a 15 though.
So as you keep a lookout, you notice that there are a number of folks, students. You notice students in the like student robes. You notice like a various different style of like faculty robe that appears. So you see two different styles of robe. One other thing that you notice, Kilcannon, is a number of different individuals that appear to all be members of Congress. And Velray, you catch this as well. You notice that there are a number of members of Congress that appear to be entering and leaving the institute at any point in time.
Congress likes to read.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently.
Interesting. And it's coming and going though, right? Are they, or are they at this point of the day just going in and I'm not seeing them leave?
No, they are coming and going. You
Okay.
see various different individuals, and you can catch them from a number of different groups. Like you see some members of like the interplanar group that Velray is a part of, like the traditional like human led organization. You see a number of individuals from the Feywild. You see a number of individuals that appear like they are similarly dressed to Caden from the Bureau. You notice that there are a number of individuals that seem to have connections to the Bureau uh, and to the Congress that seem to be arriving and leaving.
Can
Is this
I?
odd
Can I?
for Valerie to see? Sorry to interrupt.
No, please go ahead.
Velray, it is you. You got your connections to the Institute through Congress, but even through your time there, you never regularly saw individuals with that level of connection more than a time or two. To see this amount of like coming and going is like a little, it sends off a little like red flag signal in your head.
Lovely. Okay, thank you.
Oh, not the vibes being off.
Hill, what were you gonna say?
Can I? Is any of them, any of the people that appear to be from Congress by themselves?
Yeah, I would say that there definitely are a few individuals that seem to be kind of like off on their own.
Can I discreetly take out my out of my pocket a small little wand, and I just want to do the slight little motion necessary and inspire one of them that they need to go, or try and send a thought that they need to maybe stop and go shopping at a potion store really quickly.
Yeah. So you're are you casting encode thoughts?
Casting encode thoughts.
Okay, perfect. So they have to make a. I think they have to make a save again. Let's double check.
I'm so excited. I'm just kind of like sitting here, like, what's gonna happen?
Oh gosh.
So you can cast it alongside detect thoughts. So if you are not casting it on yourself or like within range of another person,
Okay.
you have to cast it alongside one of your uses of detect thoughts. So you can like use it to read somebody's thoughts and encode something alongside it.
Okay.
So you have 3 uses of detect thoughts. So you'll be able to use one of your uses to do.
So I would also like to then pull whatever I feel like their agenda was by entering the school right then.
Perfect. So they have to make for detect thoughts. They have to make a wisdom saving throw. Great, 100%. You got it. I don't want to talk about what I rolled. It's fine. I don't want to talk about the fact that I rolled a 2. It's okay. I'm
I'm not
switching
mad at
Bad for
over.
this.
them, good for us.
I'm switching over to my better die. It's okay. It's bigger.
Oh.
So as you reach out with the wand, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
I know that you are quite skilled at those.
Got a 7.
A 7. So I'll
The 2 struck at me.
so I'll say Velray and Ludwig, you are actually able to catch the fact that Kilcannon has pulled out the wand that was given to him by Auntie Sands, and you watch him give a little bit of a wave to it, and it's in the direction of one of the Congress. Kilcannon, as you do so, you feel pulled from the wand, and you see it almost appear before you in this like thin, almost white, incandescent strand. You see it pulled before you, and as you look on, you actually see from the congressperson's point of view, and you look down and you see them looking at a half moon mask, and like having taken it off, and like you see them like hanging it up and like removing a set of robes and hanging those up as well. And you watch them like leaving a room and a set of like double doors with this heavy stained glass window in it closing behind them, lit only by torchlight, as you watch as they walk up the stairs, and then the thought that you had closes away.
Okay.
At the same time, you see as you're kind of like holding on to this thin thought strand that you had pulled from them. You watch as the thought strand that you had given them slowly worms its way through the air, seemingly not noticed by anybody else, and you watch it slowly enter the ear of the Congress. And he kind of like stops for a second, and he kind of like looks around and he looks over at the shop that's directly next to yours. You're kind of like looking at the booksellers and you see the apothecary shop right next door. And you see the congressman kind of look over and go like, "Oh, that's cute." And like walks over and starts exploring the apothecary shop.
Um, I then try to so once he's in the apothecary shop that I'm in, or I follow him into the apothecary shop, I try to strike up a conversation with this congressperson and say, have, do I know you from somewhere? You look incredibly familiar. What did I see you? Did I see you at the bar the other day where you were drinking some sort of ale and you were with some friends? I just
He
couldn't
looks over,
help
he's
but
like,
you looked.
"I'm so sorry, you must be mistaken. I'm Congressman Halbert." And reaches out a hand and kind of like shakes yours. Lovely, lovely to meet you. A lot of people recognize me from my various speeches and public appearances. It's totally fine.
Oh, I guess maybe that's still not why I noticed you, but I had to say, I I saw you and you were just so handsome. I feel like I had to come up and talk to you while I had a chance to walk up to you like this and just share my appreciation for who you are. Oh my gosh, you take my breath away.
That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. It truly means a lot. Absolutely.
Um,
But perhaps we can continue to discuss this some other time. I would love to continue to get your opinion on some of the recent comings and goings here in Ichthys. I'm so excited to learn more about the augmented way of thinking.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to buy you a drink at some point as soon as possible. I can't help but take you up on this opportunity. I'm so sorry if I'm just gushing over you. You're just so lovely. I can't. Oh my gosh, please. How do I meet you as soon as possible? When are you free next?
Oh, of course, not a problem at all. Here, and he kind of like reaches into his pocket and holds out a business card, and says, "Absolutely, check in with my receptionist. She would absolutely love to be able to set something up here."
Well, I hope that it can be intimate in nature if that's okay with you at some point. So I'll make sure to follow up for sure.
And he goes, "Thank you, thank you. It truly does mean a lot. I love to meet adoring fans, as it were."
And then just as I walk away, I actually want to use the wand one more time. on him.
Okay.
I want to encode the thoughts of making sure the receptionist knows that I should be expected to make plans with this person.
Ooh, okay, absolutely. So you kind of like think to yourself, like you take a second and you visualize uh the Congressman Halbert like handing over and being like, please make sure to like make this a priority. And you watch as that like thought strand worms its way through and just connects into the ear of Congressman Halbert. And Velray and Ludwig, you both have been watching this the entire time.
This little devil. He's out
Did
And
we
getting
then
hear
dates.
all of that? Did we hear all of that though?
I would say like as Congressman Halbert goes to like walk away, and like gives like a little bit of a curious like, I didn't realize that I was kind of into this. Okay. Like look back at Kilcannon. As Congressman Halbert goes to walk away, Kilcannon turns around and basically like almost walks into Velray and Ludwig.
since
Hey.
I mean, I guess you see through my disguise.
You're a great actor. That was
Hi,
quite
nice
the
to meet you.
performance.
Can we move along? I don't want this person to be within earshot of what we have to talk about.
I do have some observations too. All right, we can move.
Just
Y'all make your way
how
out of the
how
shop and
rude
around the
is it to
corner.
watch while I am working, especially when I'm trying to get this peon to give us some information?
You're trying to do what?
Oh, Peon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
We didn't want to interrupt, so we were just watching.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
we did
you
want to
were.
help.
respectfully.
Might as well be charging for my time with how much you like to observe.
You could have made it a better show at least then.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were such an aficionado for
Oh.
voyeurism.
Sorry. I don't know
We're
what came
making
over me
him
right then.
cough.
That's on me. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
But let's move on with haste. We have to get this done.
agreed.
I agree.
So the three of you meet back with Rakra and Caden as you all meet up at the spot that Rakra had kind of like described to you all before. Rakra, while the others had gone off, was there anything in particular that you were looking for in the skein yard itself through your shopping trip?
I kind of was just very unnerved, so I was trying to do some retail therapy and, you know, kind of going back to the conversation that I had with Castilda, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Casilda?
Casilda.
Casilda. See, I am trying to find options to flaunt. So I may or may not have picked up, an outfit or two, trying to, hug the curves a little bit, but nothing else. I was just very shook.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I'm assuming that these are options that you have purchased not at Dahlia's location.
Oh, hell no.
You just got like the glimmer weave from Dahlia and you were like, "Great, I'm gonna go elsewhere."
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, sure. I'll say do you have money on you?
I do. I actually have a lot of money on me.
Great. I'm going to say that this would cost you like, we'll say how much do you want to like, how much are we wanting to like flaunt it?
I have dropped easily 100 gold.
Oh. Then absolutely 100%. And this is like two full on like two accessory clothing like
Yes.
full on
Yes.
outfits. It
Yes.
includes some makeup. Like you got the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we are taking away 100 gold, BB, and that would still good.
And
Listen.
absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
So you've got like some outfits, and that includes everything. That's like perfume,
Mm-hmm.
like everything.
Yes. I may have like had some of my braids like redone, right?
Oh, okay, absolutely.
We got the braids redone. We got some more embellishments in the hair. We're looking right. We got, the paint's good. We're
Absolutely.
good.
So you acquire a few new outfits. You make your way back to your spot, and you meet up with the other three, and Caden, who is in tow with doctored doctored papers for all of you.
Hi.
Greetings and salutations, friend. Oh, right. So for those of you who need them, I have gifts for you.
Is it gourds?
Gifts.
Yes, who needed these? I believe Ludwig needed one. I think Kilcannon needs one. Velray, you work for the Congress. I'm pretty sure you don't need one.
I've also
Um,
already tended here, yeah.
and also, Rocker, I think you're a regular here, so you do not need one. Yes?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go into the library and see if I can get into the forbidden section. Not that I should, because that got me in trouble before, but here we are.
I
Here you go, Ludwig and Kilcannon.
I'll take this as backup. I think I'm just going to go in as an escort to the Congress member,
Well,
so as it were.
this
But
will be that will be there in case you need any form of alibi or for just any general checks you might run into if you happen to be off somewhere by yourself and someone says, "Who are you and why are you here?"
right, thank you so much.
I also want to make sure that the team knows the thought that I pulled from Congressman Halberts about the half moon mask and the stained glass room.
I when okay, I dreamt of that. Well, dreamt earlier.
Actually, um, DM, is there a like offhand, am I able to see like a quiet place where we would be able to like reasonably talk and like not really be disturbed by passersby because people aren't paying attention to that spot.
At the spot that you are at, so Rakra has found an entrance to the floating library that is like amongst all of the like rubble and wreckage that is underneath. So like it is essentially like amongst all of the ruined buildings, and inside one of the like half ruined buildings there is a door that just leads the floating library. It acts like a teleportation. It's
Okay.
probably not meant for Rakra, and it's probably meant for other purposes, but Rakra knows about it and just like uses it as the way to get into the library, and those in the library don't seem to like question things.
Um, I will say one quick thing, and I unfurl some schematics. Okay, so here's some schematics of the first and the second floors of the library. You'll see this spot right here. There is a statue about 10 or so feet from the edge of the building. It's incongruent with the other borders. So whatever we're looking for should be there. That would be on the eastern wing on the first floor. And I just like roll things back up and put it in my pocket.
Now, would I know of this having spent time there and like gone through some things and like maybe I'm just trying to use a history roll because I got good history.
I would say that you wouldn't be aware of the first floor of the institute, but you have
Mm,
probably been in the second floor of the institute where like the central teleportation statue is. So
okay.
you would be familiar with that, and you would be familiar with the fact that like those in the institute use this statue to get around.
Okay.
So you would be familiar with that like main method of transportation, but
Okay.
like traditionally the East Wing is largely reserved for like faculty or like senior personnel.
Okay.
So I believe that teleportation into the building takes us to the second floor. We'll need to make our way down to the first floor and then to the eastern wing of that floor. It's gonna be a fun time.
Hey,
An
Kaden?
additional sorry, go.
No, you're good. Did you maybe get some paperwork that would say that maybe you're a new teacher?
What does the paperwork say?
It is able to give you clearance for purposes regarding the bureau. So these levels of types of clearance that you are able to acquire give you clearance for different personnel according to like quote unquote bureau business. You can like basically you are able to allow like credence to individuals for like purposes regarding like investigations alongside the bureau. Now you do know that the bureau has a somewhat publicly contentious relationship with the institute itself, but given the nature of the bureau's work, the institute cannot uh, keep individuals from the bureau from their grounds.
The papers might provide clearance for me, and possibly for Velray because of the work that we do. I don't think that applies to everyone.
You would be able to basically like the bits that you're able to fake are the bits that you're able to fake for Ludwig and Kilcannon as needed. Like you're able to paint them as
Okay.
agents of the bureau because you
Oh,
know
okay.
the things that you would need to fake for those documents.
So I could just say that both of them are investigators like myself.
Yeah, either in investigators or they have like very specific detailed jobs regarding forensics and anything like that. Like you're
Okay.
able to place them for a specific reason.
Okay. Well, I guess the answer to Rockwood would be we can manage that, I think.
Okay, cool. Uh, I think I mean, if we're all gonna go in here, that's fine. That's not a big deal. Um, but I think it would be a little weird because the 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 people that work here, th- they're not used to seeing me with people.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
think that'll be an
Well,
issue? Like you being with the
I'm
group?
yes. Yes.
so Kill Cannon. Or sorry, not Kill Cannon. DM. I from where we are, can we see people specifically people who are leaving the library?
Y'all are like literally underneath the floating library
So
at
we get to
a
see people
door.
leaving?
You're like underneath it at a doorway that is a portal into the floating library.
Oh, like the reason why I'm looking for people. Well, you should know, like, because I'm a changeling. I'm looking for people who are leaving the library in case I need to do things to drop suspicion at a moment's notice.
Oh, so you wouldn't be seeing anybody coming or going from where you're currently located.
Okay. I have to check that one out later.
You do
Okay.
know that you do know that the individuals that man the library are all Kenku.
Okay.
They are raven-like bird humanoid who all man the library itself as their nest.
Okay.
And you all do each have the Glimmerweave outfits that you can make look however you need.
Hmm.
Okay. So I suppose if people aren't used to seeing you um with other people, I suppose for all practical purposes, the rest of us can technically just walk right through the front door if you would prefer to go this way by yourself instead and meet us somewhere.
I can meet you by the statue? I could probably bring one person with me because that would be seem more likely because they keep joking on me for not having a significant other. So that would
That's
be
none of their
fun.
business. Why are they even? Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, it's just it's the running joke, I guess. It's fine. I don't
Mm-mm-mm.
mind. They're nice enough.
I have several questions, but I should probably not ask them. Who would like to go with Rockra in this case?
I will go with Rockra.
All right. Well
Okay, you
then,
two behave.
welcome to the
Wait,
library.
wait. I have some concerns at the number of Congress members I've seen going in and out. That's unusual. When I went here, when I attended like seminars, I would only maybe see another, like one other person every now and then who was a part of Congress. So I'm worried
Um,
something's afoot.
Maybe
I'm
you're a
I'm
trendsetter.
I'm sure there
No.
is, but
Velray, if it makes you feel any better, I can assure you that considering that there is one whole statue in exactly one part of the building that is exactly 10 feet away from a wall, there absolutely is something going on.
and I'll say this, if you're worried about them finding me, don't. Most Congress people don't look at me, or they think I'm not intelligent enough to actually have a conversation with, so I kind of just blend into the background.
Their laws.
Actually, now that you mention it, a few of the Congress members will probably recognize me as well. I'll
But
just
if
try to.
you're,
Yeah.
Velray's bodyguard, then that wouldn't be
Yeah,
a problem because you can say that's a new duty.
true.
Remember you have paperwork
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
and you're officially here from the Bureau, but Congress can only say so much about that for, well, reasons.
But only go with the Congress angle if someone's trying to talk to me.
Okay.
All
Well,
And then
right.
most of them didn't know me with my blue hair. Let's go.
So the
off to
intention
it
is
then.
for Caden, Ludwig, and Velray to enter into the Institute through the front, while Rockra and Kilcannon enter from the library and connect up at the second floor statue before heading down to the east wing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Perfect. Well, Kilcannon, Ludwig, and Velray, you all head out. Kilcannon and Rockra. Rockra, you make the knocks at the door. It actually took you a second to remember how you had done it originally because you actually stumbled into the door the very first time that you had done so. You mimic the knocks in the various places of the door where you had originally stumbled into it. And as you turn the knob and open the door, Kilcannon and Rockra, you see before you the massive floating library of the Athenaeum. You see before you this floating library, and I truly do mean floating. It is this large, incredibly domed structure where floating bookshelves just pass by through everything. And you can see large amounts of books are heavily shackled to each of these bookcases and bookshelves as you go. And actually, as you open the door, the two of you almost feel like thrust inside and begin floating freely yourselves. And every once in a while, past the bookshelves, you can see these like small, almost 5 foot tall, raven like individuals that are like freely floating through. You see them like bringing a book back to a shelf and refascinating it to its like connecting point, and then like swimming through the air to another part, and you find yourselves deep within the Athenaeum. Everybody, we're actually going to go ahead and take our break there tonight, and we're going to return to Kilcannon and Rockra in the Athenaeum as Caden, Ludwig, and Velray make their way into the Institute itself. Whenever we return from our break, we'll see how each group goes about and how they reconnect. But in the meantime, everybody, through our break here, you can help actually fill our nightmare gauge and help support our players at that wonderful link there. So if you would like to make a moment of terror and horror happen this evening, please, please, please help tip our wonderful players at that link there and help support these wonderful, wonderful folks. We're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break as everybody uses the restroom, grabs themselves a drink, all that wonderful stuff. And then we will be right back with everything after that. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our 5th episode and our return back to the Eldritch Tide. And we will be back very, very shortly. See yourself soon.
I might be able to file, get one of these cups after I get my tax return.
Tax return don't know her.
And hello, welcome on back, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us back for part 2 of tonight's episode of the Eldritch Tide. Episode 5, titled The Umbranaeum. Thank you all so much for returning back with us through that little break there as we get ourselves resituated for the second half of our episode. In part 1 of tonight's episode, our investigators decided to make their way towards the Isinglass Institute after acquiring Glimmerweave outfits from a fashion designer named Dahlia. Now, after Dahlia's peculiar ways seemed to unnerve a number of members of the party, they quickly made their way through, and Velray, Kilcannon, and a number of others were able to discern that a number of members of Congress and the Bureau had actually been regularly frequenting the Institute itself. And after meeting up with Rakra, determined that Kilcannon would go with Rakra into the library, while Velray, Ludwig, and Caden would make their way through the front and then reconvene together at the second floor kind of central teleportation hub statue that a lot of the Institute uses to get around. And as Kilcannon and Rakra opened the door into the library, they found themselves pulled in to the floating library of the Athenaeum. As they entered in, they found a number of floating shelves and bookcases and a number of Kenku attendants that were tending to the library itself. Kilcannon and Rakra, where would you like to begin?
I'm unfazed by all of this. Like, it's evident that I'm kind of just like almost like enjoying the ride, and like I would very like easily like reach a hand up and like snatch one of the books and like see the cover and like just start, you know, flipping through it very carefully, like reading through it. Like, and I'm almost in my element. So it's not that I'm not paying attention to Kilcannon to like gauge where he's at, but like I resonate with books more than life forms, and it's very evident.
Rockra, can you roll a let's get wild here. Let's roll a D20 for me. Just a regular D20, and let's see what book you grab off the shelf.
Okay. Um that's a 9.
A 9. So as you reach up and you snatch a book off of one of the floating shelves as it like rises up towards you, you snatch one of the books off of the shelf and you very quickly undo the tassel to that like keeps it chained uh to the bookcase itself. And you see on the front cover uh is in common on the words of Isinglass. And as you flip through, Rockra, what languages do you speak real quick?
That's a good question.
You'll find that on the left side of your character sheet in D&D Beyond. Next to all of your toolkit
So
proficiency.
common, orc, and telepathy.
Great. So you don't, as you see it, it says on the words of Isinglass. You see this is a very, very old text. You actually don't recognize the text within the book itself, as it seems to be recorded in a language that you do not speak. But it does appear to be some type of text detailing the words of the prophet mage Isinglass, the namesake of the institute itself.
Okay. And there's nothing in the book that I would pick up on.
Um, give me a history check at disadvantage since you do not speak the language.
So roll 2, take the lesser.
Correct.
16.
Okay. Come on. Rockford said that's right. I do take to books. Thank you. So
Okay.
as you read through it, as you like flip through it really quickly, you don't necessarily recognize any of the actual text of the words itself. However, there is a number of symbols that you do recognize. You recognize them very, very clearly because these symbols are burned into your memory. These symbols are burned into your memory from a very specific text back at the Abbey. These symbols are burned into your mind because these were the very symbols that flashed before you felt the coming of the tide.
And this is a lot to unpack, y'all. What's the name of this book again?
On the words of Isinglass.
Okay.
It is a book detailing the prophetic words of the prophet mage Isinglass,
Okay.
the founder of the Institute.
So now as I'm reading these like symbols essentially, am I starting to feel differently?
You don't.
Okay.
This doesn't appear to carry any magic within it. This
Okay.
appears to merely be like a recollection and a collection of the words and detailing of the prophet mage.
Okay. Okay. And I kind of just like, because we're still like almost like suspended in air as we're moving through this library, right?
You are, yeah.
So I kind of just look at it and like there's concern on my face, right? Cuz like even though I may not know what it says, those things, like those symbols really stick out to me and I'm almost a little shaken.
And Kilcannon, you catch this. You have been taking in the sights, like you've been looking around. You see all manner of texts fly past the shelves. You see ones that have probably only been minted within the last year. You see ones that look like they are probably from before the tide itself, all floating within this library.
I also, as I'm initially there, sort of agape at the opulence of all of this, I also get a bit angrier and angrier and more frustrated at the clear opulence of this room and the clear structure of this government that has abused so many of its citizens for their own personal gain, to then have this shining beacon of their power and their snubbing of the augmented and other marginalized parts of society just for this.
As you kind of look around and you feel that anger and you feel that hatred and you feel that frustration well up inside you, you look across and you see the like look of concern starting to like raise on Rakra's face. And before you can say anything, you feel a small feathered talon just peck at like tap at your shoulder.
I whip around and say, "What?"
And that shakes me and I'm like, "Oh." And I look over.
As you turn around, you look around and you're like, "Oh, is I'm so sorry. Is everything all right? I I didn't mean to frighten you at all."
Do do I know this particular
You
being?
you recognize this particular Kenku. You can actually watch as they have like almost dark navy blue at the tips of their feathers. And this is Crashing Sea. Um, they introduce themselves by the sound of a like wave hitting rocks. And they open their beak, and literally the sound of a wave crashing against rocks emerges as they introduce themselves.
And I kind of wave. I know this. I know this Kanku.
You do,
Okay.
yes.
I go, "Hey CS. Hey, this is my partner."
Like, oh, it's so lovely to meet you. And Kilcannon, one of the things that you recognize as this Kenku CS is speaking to you, it appears that every small phrase or every couple of words appears to be in a different voice. Um, Kenku are incapable of producing their own individualized concept of identity or culture, and they are true mimics in that regard. So every couple words and every little bit of a phrase appears to be from a voice that they have heard somewhere else. So every single word that they have chosen and every single phrase that they choose to speak seems to have been made from somebody else's voice. And they look over, they're like,
I brush my shoulder and say, "Perhaps ask before you touch someone."
"No, I completely understand. I deeply apologize. But we do welcome you to our library. Is there something that we can help find for you? A subject that you're interested in studying?"
I kind of just like close the book and I hand it to Crushing Seas. I say, "This one almost got away. It's a good thing I was here." And I just like, ha 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 ha.
CS gives you a little bit of a look and can kind of catch the little bit of like a shake in your palm, like a quiver in your voice for a second. And you see CS kind of like lightly push the book back to you and say, "Oh, it's quite all right. I think it's best that you hold on to that for the time."
I kind of like hold it close and I nod and I tuck it into this new like bougie ass like vegan leather satchel with studs on it with all my herbs and stuff. And I say thanks, CS. I mean it means a lot. I hope you and everyone is doing well. It's good to see you again.
We don't get many individuals outside of the institute these days. I'm worried that they are keeping closer watch on everything here. I miss the days with which we were able to share our nest with so many others.
Rocker kind of nods and like sheepishly like reaches for Kilkennen's hand and like awkwardly holds it and says, "This is Kilcannon. We would love to be able to visit you more."
Of course, Rockra, we consider you a part of our flock. You and any others would be more than welcome here.
And I kind of like smile and like a genuine warm smile because it's not often that I've ever really felt like I belonged. And like Kilcannon would know that because we've had conversation about that. And so I like as a like a very kind like familial gesture, I would like lean in and like hold the sides of like CS's head and just kind of like put my forehead onto theirs as like a little sign of like, solidarity and appreciation and respect.
Like,
And
you are always welcome here, my dear. It was such a joy the first time that you set foot inside our hall. I will say, I am slightly concerned about the nature of below. And you kind of like catch CS's eye, like looking down to the Institute.
mhm.
Say, we maintain a level of our own individuality here. This is our nest. We are the flock, and we look after it. While the Institute looks after us, we fear that they keep a closer eye than they should.
And I'd kind of look to Kilcannon and I'd give him like a reassuring nod and I'd say, Kill, they need to know what you saw.
I take a big sigh, not wanting to ruin this moment for Rockra because I do actually care for Rockra, and I relay the vision that I had of the congressperson, and with the insinuation of looking for some sort of, have you heard of this before?
This is not something that we know. I is this the way of the Institute? Is this the way of the I and you watch as CS gets really quiet for a second and kind of like looks past the two of you, and you watch as like a pair of students from the Institute float by maybe like 150 feet or so away from you.
Mhm.
And you see CS just kind of like grab each of your hands and like floats backward a little bit, and you watch as like two bookshelves float behind the two of you. Like as CS has like held on to your wrists and says, I I feel I must warn the rest of the flock, but please consider this place and its knowledge and its access yours.
I nod and like kind of just make sure to like look again to double check, and I say, um, CS, I want you to tell everybody, but it is imperative that you proceed as normal. We're here for that. We're trying to figure out what's going on, but I don't want you hurt in the process. I did want to say it to you because I want you to protect this. It means a lot to you and it means a lot to me and so many others. And no, this really isn't the way of the institute, but unfortunately there are people out there who, well, I don't even know.
Of course, I I will keep my word to you. Um, hold, hold. And you watch as CS kind of like takes a second and like dabs a feather to their eyes, and floats above up and grabs onto a book off of a shelf, and like grabs onto the edges of the bookcase and kind of like kicks off and floats back down to the two of you. Um, and looks over to Kilcannon and says, "Thank, thank you for sharing this. You do not count us as a part of your people, but we thank you all the same. Here." And he hands across a book, and it doesn't contain a name. It instead contains a series of dates. And the dates range from 3 years after the tide to 33 years after the tide. And you can look through Kilcannon and you see a number of medical studies that have been done. They're all heavily redacted. It has deleted a lot of information, but in numerous places you see references to the augmented program.
I choke up a bit and I ask, do you know who authored this?
I don't. Some of the books and texts and studies that have been gifted to our library have been done so for the sake of knowledge, whether identity has been given or not. I hope it brings you some solace, and I hope it brings you some sense of origin or purpose.
I kind of reach down and I like give Kilcannon's hand like a gentle squeeze, and I look at him and I say, "We can find out."
Um, does when I examine the redactments in the book, was it done through just like scribbled out, or does it seem like it was um, potentially magically redacted?
Give me an Arcana check.
7.
You are unfamiliar with the magics that are in place, but it is clear that it is more than just a standard redacting. There are heavy amounts of like blacked out text through the like collection of case studies. But as you scroll through, it is inherently clear that it is inherently clear that the information contained is done so in a way that is magically inclined. Also, thank you so much, whoever just donated $25 to our Nightmare Gauge. Thank you so much for supporting our wonderful players. And anybody in chat, you can also help fill our Nightmare Gauge, supporting all of these 5 wonderful players themselves. And if we fill that Nightmare Gauge, a moment of horror and terror will break out and plague our wonderful players. So thank you so much for that wonderful support.
I have a question. Do I know or see the kind of magic that is used, having been in a place where a lot of things were redacted in-house and stuff like that?
Rockra, you can also give me an Arcana check.
Okay. No, that was a natural 20. With a +1 modifier.
So as you look in, there are a number of elements that you notice. You don't necessarily know the extent to which this information has been redacted, but you can see the almost you see past the standard blacked out information, and you can see almost the constant twisting and turning of written information. Almost like within the text itself, it is enchanted in such a way that you have to understand exactly how somebody was able to do so, because it is constantly turning and shifting, almost like it has been encoded in such a way.
Okay. So I look at it, and then I look back to Kilken, and I say, absolutely, we can definitely find somebody, even if we have to go back to the monastery.
I will find out who authored this. I do have some tools at my disposal, but now is not the time.
I agree. And then I kind of just look down thoughtfully, and then I look back to CS and I say, CS, if anything happens, protect this place.
Absolutely. 100%. Its knowledge and its information is our home. It is our nest. However it is capable, through it, me and my brothers and sisters, we have been able to fly again. We have been able to overcome this curse that has plagued our kind, and we have found a place to call home. To know the joy, to flap our wings and find movement. This is ours. And its knowledge is not just ours. It belongs to everyone.
I kind of just give a very soft smirk, and I put a hand on his shoulder, and I say, if it gets bad ever, you call me. Find me however you need.
I will. You two should go now. Here, this way. It will lead you into the Institute and beyond. And he kind of floats you over, and you can see there are a number of almost pedestal stanchions that float through the library. And each of them has this small, almost gemstone-esque lit up spot at the top. And as Kilcannon, you and Rock replace your hands on the top of it through CS, a light flashes. And we're going to cut to Caden, Ludwig, and Velray as the three of you head up to the front of the Institute. And as Velray, as you head up to the front of the Institute, you almost get like a very knowing, like, hello from the attendant at the front. And if I can get the three of you to make insight checks for me.
I rolled a 19.
18.
Thank you for rolling. Do not ask me what I rolled. I rolled
Ah,
a 10.
Not a so Caden, you are at the ready. Like, as somebody who has had to like be like a person from the bureau, like you are basically like at the ready to like do what you need to do to like help flash papers and get people in the door.
Mm-hmm.
But Velray and Ludwig, you notice a telltale wave from the like front gate attendant that you have noticed a number of times, keeping your eyes out, because you notice the same telltale wave that they seem to give to other Congress individuals that have been coming and going. It seems like they just like recognize the fact that like you are here for a purpose. And for a second it gives you like a little bit of a pause as like you watch another Congress you this time it's a like a Congress individual. You see a tall minotaur individual bearing the symbol of the Council of the Seven Heavens and Nine Hells. You see that the symbol on their like on their suit lapel. They seem to pay you no mind, Velray, but they give like a little bit of a wave to the gate attendant and continue on their way. Um, and while others are like actively checking in at the front gate attendant seems to pay you, Velray, and your companions, Ludwig and Caden, no mind at all as they give you just like a little bit of a wave. And there is enough of a distance between you and the actual front door for the three of you to have like a little bit of conversation as like others are leaving the institute and you are getting ready to head in.
Do we have an actual plan once we get in here? Are we just
Oh, we're investigating. So the plan is to get more information. So we're gonna. Oh God, sorry. I was about to say the word Kilcannon. I was trying to be mean to me about observation.
Oh yeah. Well, he's mean about
Look at
everything.
him.
That's
He's
all right. You
getting in
can't
my
take it
head.
personal. Oh,
Man,
Okay.
you know
I-
something.
I
have
sneeze
to-
during that moment.
You know something. I am sure that it's one of those. I think he just acts that way. Except if you've noticed around Rocker, he does care about some things or some people at least.
Yeah, that's true.
we should figure out his favorite pie.
If
Yeah.
Rocker has anything to say about it, it'll probably be pumpkin at least.
Probably.
Ooh. Perfect. We're really good at that. Okay. Anyway.
You know
I'll-
something? He didn't seem too upset about the apple pie you created a couple of weeks ago either.
Very true.
Hmm.
Okay.
We'll make some observations. And
So I
we'll
suppose
we'll go from there.
our first observation would be now that we're in here, I believe we need to look for a central hub of teleporters that lead us to the first floor.
Oh, yeah. This way.
as you all arrive, the front entrance of the Institute is this beautiful, beautiful archway. You see it depicting you see before you large amounts of stained glass. And Velray, you have seen these images depicted a number of times. You see a number of individuals in mage robes. You see them all kind of like hands raised, creating some semblance of like arcane artistry above them. And from the dream vision that you had, Velray, this is a similar image as you have seen before. However, the thing that is missing is what you saw in your dream. It's of a similar style, but in your dream, you saw the almost blindfolded mage prophet of Isinglass with their arms outstretched and a wave coming beyond them. And instead, in the stained glass imagery that you appear before you, it is just like arcane artistry being created from like the hands outstretched from the mages below. You don't see a depiction of the mage prophet Isinglass. You don't see the tide emerging from behind. It appears almost like this is like a doctored, public facing, this is totally the imagery that we are presenting style. And sitting before it, right in the center, is one of those like almost marbled stanchions that keeps a gemstone in its place at the very top center that upon touching would bring you to the centralized hub of the second floor.
All right, so let's just go touch this and we will be transported.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Poke, poke.
Also, if I can just say, I feel like Kilcannon's favorite pie is totally like the sweet potato pie versus the pumpkin pie. Like that's where things fall whenever it comes to like Kilcannon's favorite pie. It's like, so pumpkin's great, but I'm a sweet potato person. That's just
Kilcannon is
None
in
of you will ever know because I don't deign to share that with rabble.
that's the final boss
Kilcannon.
of the campaign. The final boss of the campaign is like, you can automatically kill me right now, but you must reveal your favorite pie to the rest of
Too
the
bad.
players.
We're all gonna
And
die.
Kilcannon's like,
Party-
look, I'm sorry. This is a
party
total
wipe.
party wipe.
Party
That's
wipe. Party wipe. Not happening.
I mean, I feel like the correct answer though is sweet potato pie because Kilcannon is in fact the sweet potato.
I mean, I'm not saying it, but
Or, because sweet potato is like the common like name for it, it's a yam. It's yam pie. That's what it is.
Hey Kilcannon, you got yams?
I am preparing a scarab for each of you with an inscription of your name on it, just for this,
So-
uncouth discussion of my preferences that you have no business of knowing.
due to the magic of D&D time, I'm gonna say that since Caden, Ludwig, and Velray would have had to like make their way around and back to the entrance of the institute in the time that Rockra and Kilcannon entered the library, I'll say that you all five magically somehow end up arriving roughly around the same time at the central hub. So Rockra and Kilcannon, you both immediately arrive. Maybe I did, Boy Blue. Maybe I wanted chat to weigh in on whether pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie is the real thing. Answer in chat. Do it. Fight us. Fight us on this. What's up? So
I'm still holding
roughly-
Kilcannon's hand. It's a comfort thing now.
So roughly around the same time, all five of you end up emerging. I'll say Kilcannon and Rockra, you probably emerge like a minute or two before the other three. And you can look around inside and you can see this teleportation hub is massive. There is this large statue of this blindfolded man. You can see this high ponytail that cascades down past his shoulders, about halfway down his back, standing in this robe. And you can see like with this blindfold around his eyes, his arms outstretched and raised to the air. This statue, and you can see the water from the statue emerges from either of his outstretched hands. It doesn't appear to be any kind of actual piping within the hands itself. It appears to be magically done. And you can see surrounding the circle of the statue are a number of the stanchions that you saw before you in the library. And you can kind of like look around at all these marble stanchions. Thank you, Lane, for creating a mod poll about pie in chat. As you all look around, you can see at like catty corner to you, about a third of the way around the circle, Caden, Ludwig, and Velray all appear at one of the stanchions.
I
Hi.
drop Kilcannon's hand. And then I say, I'm sorry, I forgot. And then I wave at everyone.
Oh, look, it's you three. Yay.
Sorry if we were interrupting.
No, like when Kilcannon says this without skipping a beat, it's just it's nice to see you too. I love knowing that you care.
Again, as my furious tick, I finger a scarab and I just bring out my all-purpose tool and continue tinkering with one and not engaging with Caden.
So then, shall we on? I'm guessing you managed to find your way here okay. Haven't run into any trouble so far, which is good.
I kind of like lean in like very, very closely, and I'm like, CS and the other Kenku in the library had no idea that this is going on. They're very upset.
Had no idea. Wait, CS? Who is CS?
I'm not gonna say his name out loud just in case people are listening, but the people in the library have no idea what's going on. That side of things are weird.
Rakra, you still have the ability to speak telepathically.
I do. And I don't know that per se. So I'm like, I'm leaning in.
That's true, because you know that you can speak telepathically to other submerged, but you don't necessarily know, and to Ludwig, but you don't necessarily know that you can speak.
Yeah, so I'm leaning in, and if we're gonna work it that way, that's fine. Like, you literally can hear like me panicking in your head. And like,
oh no, I love that. I love that.
So as I'm kind of like leaning in and like trying not to say anything, you actually hear, and I think I'm panicking and like loud enough that like if we're all in a circle, like y'all may feel uncomfortable, right? But I'm kind of like,
I like that. So Caden, as Rakra is speaking to you, hear a stream of Rakra's consciousness. Like, I am so completely worried about crashing seas. I don't know if the Kenku are going to be okay. I don't know what's going on with the library. Apparently, they are concerned about the Institute itself. Like, you hear all of this starting to pour forward.
When she communicates with me, can I communicate back?
Rakra, read the definition of your telepathy. I'm not sure if they can.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. It says nothing about it.
Okay, so if it doesn't state that they can communicate back with you telepathically, that's how you say that word. Not telepically. Telepically. No, if they cannot speak back to you telepathically, then you can speak to them and they can completely understand you, but they cannot communicate back.
Unless it is somebody with telepathy.
Yeah, or unlike a message spell, things like that, they cannot return.
Okay. So I'm freaking out because at this point, like, there's a lot of like thoughts of like they're going
I
to lose
just
their home. I don't want them to die. I need to be there. Like,
I grab Rockra's hand and just go, understood. We'll try to be discreet, which, you know, is one of the things that I do. And we'll try not to disturb anything, at least not unless we absolutely have to.
and I just I nod, and then I kind of look to the side, confused, like, how how, how did how'd you know that?
Oh,
I'll tell you when we're downstairs.
yeah.
And then I just find the first find a way to get to the first floor.
I was actually going to ask while they're talking, can I do do we know exactly which teleporter takes us where with the schematic? Did we?
Through Caden's schematics, you would be able to know. Through the
Okay.
schematics that Caden was able to provide, you would be able to locate that. So
Okay.
Ludovic, if you would like to like find that as this conversation is happening, you easily can.
Yeah, I'll walk over to it and I'll just be like, after you.
I will ask. So all of you were granted Glimmerweave outfits. Who is using them at this time?
Me.
Not me.
Mm-mm.
Great. So Ludwig, you're still like full on
Armor.
armored.
I got fishnets.
You're armored to the nines. Great.
Yeah.
And Rockra, you're still in your like standard gear because you're like
I'm
used to
I'm
the
dressed
library.
up in.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. You're dressed
Oh,
up in
look
your new
it, like
outfit.
I probably stick out more than I would had anticipated because I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you still taking Scarlett's advice in terms of fashion, or did you like find
You know,
outfits separate?
I
from
might
it?
be.
Not you chasing Scarlett away, but also then still taking her advice.
I mean,
It's good advice.
This is a very classic case of, see, I don't like you, but you're not wrong.
right?
Yep.
That's what I call the African American urge. Okay. Y'all can say what you want, but it's true.
Nope, it's fine. I'm gonna brush past that one. And so Ludwig, you find the stanchion required of all of you that would take you to the East Wing.
And I'll just usher everyone there. While I do that, I would also like to use one of my features, Vigilant Blessing. So I kind of like etch a rune kind of in the air, and I have advantage on the next initiative roll.
Okay. Wonderful. Sorry, I saw what Raven, but I couldn't take it. Wonderful. So you have advantage on the next initiative roll that you will make, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving it to yourself. Wonderful.
Yes.
Beautiful. So as you kind of like lead all of the other 5 over, this stanchion, whenever you all place your hands on it, you feel yourself shunted through space, and you find yourselves in the east wing of the first floor. You can kind of look around, and there is no one else here. You see a number of like really beautiful long tapestries that hang on the walls. You see a number of closed meeting rooms on either side of you, and far at the end of the hallway, you see the statue that Caden had pointed out before.
As we approach the statue, or I would like to approach the statue, but on my way, can I scan the ground for any footprints, like a survival check to track where maybe a lot of traffic has gone through? Or
Ooh, give me either a survival or an investigation, whichever is going to be better for you, Luke.
okay. That is a 16.
16. So you notice that there are a lot of footprints that actually lead to the right. And it doesn't look like actual natural footprints because this is like a standard wooden floor. However, you can see a lot of discoloration in the wood grain. Almost where like there's been a lot of like boot prints placed down in these areas that like even though folks have like mopped over it and so on and so forth, like because of the fact that so many people have walked along this, it has caused discoloration in this. So you kind of like catch onto it and it leads to the right side and you can just manage to make out a like cut in the fabric along the side of the statue, and you see it is once again a statue of the wizard prophet Isinglass with arms outstretched. This time along the sides of the robe. You can just manage to make out where the folds in the robe create a perfect half moon symbol.
I will alert everyone of the cut in the tapestry. Like, guys, if you want to check over here, I think I may have figured out exactly what's going on here or where people are going.
I
Okay.
just kind of like lead the way.
So, like, does that tapestry, like, is there something beyond the tapestry on the way to the statue, or is this off to a side out
It's
of the path we've
hanging
been going
it's
through?
hanging directly behind the statue
Okay.
at the wall where it would meet.
Oh, okay. That that tracks. That makes sense. All right. So, um, let's get into it. Right. Hold on. The people who are here. Then I try to like first like looking for any people in the hallway. I'm assuming there aren't any over here.
You haven't seen anybody or you haven't heard any sounds of movement in this hallway at all.
Okay. So I'm going to head past the statue.
And meet with Ludwig at the tapestry.
Hmm.
Ludwig, do you
Yeah, I'm ready to. I'd like to like even if people are coming over, I'd like poke my head in, just like
so you like get your head real close and you like hold your hands on it and you actually feel your hands start to depress into the stone itself. And you feel the stone behind that half moon section start to press in and create like a half moon section. And you watch as the wall behind the tapestry starts to push back entirely and fold into the stone wall behind it. With the tapestry kind of like hanging over the entrance.
we found our secret entrance, and I'll just wait for everyone else.
I go in because at this
Yes,
point,
same.
like I'm really not thinking rationally. Like I'm on a mission.
You just pull back the tapestry and like start
Oh,
to
I'm
walk
in there like swimwear. Yep.
Rockrat, as you take one step in, a torch lights next to your face. Another one 6 steps down. Another one 6 steps down. And it continues on for about 30 to 40 feet down below before it hits a base landing and that one last torch magically lights up and stops.
So while we're about halfway down the path, I try to kind of like touch the glimmer weave and I try to recall what I saw the cultists look like before.
Perfect. Absolutely. You're definitely able to do so.
Am
Ooh.
I seeing anything that is kind of lurking in the shadow?
Give me a perception or an investigation check, Rockra.
Okay, which one's better? They're both kind of shit, so let's go. That's a 7
A 7 in what?
in perception.
Perception. So you can kind of see the torches themselves almost cast like eerie shadows along the wall. Like the light itself seems to constantly move and shift alongside you. And it definitely makes you feel like uneasy. It doesn't necessarily create like specific shadows, but it definitely moves in a way that feels unnatural.
Okay.
As the 5 of you descend at the bottom of the stairs, go ahead, Kilcannon.
Can I cast detect magic?
Yeah. So as you would cast detect magic, you can sense that there is a series of continual flame spells cast along the torches, all along the like stairwell here and along the bottom there. And as you hit the bottom of the stairwell, you look over and you can sense some manner of enchantment. You're not sure exactly what, but you sense some manner of enchantment forward, and you look forward and you see almost floor to ceiling this incredibly large stained glass wall. Not even like a doorway, like this large arched wall of stained glass.
From my vision, is there a corresponding door that I would be able to see from the congressperson?
You didn't see a doorway of sorts. You saw the stained glass close behind him, but you didn't see a doorway of sorts. You didn't see a handle. You didn't see a stanchion. Like you watched the stained glass close behind him and shut.
Is there would I be perceptive enough to be able to recognize that maybe it was mirrored where like we're on the opposite side of the mirrored glass where like if we were on the other side of it, it would be looking the correct way from what I'd observed in the memory?
Go ahead and give me a perception or an investigation check, Kilkennan, whichever you would prefer.
Okay, I will do an investigation check.
And also, like, I'm assuming we were all down there looking at the same piece of like stained glass.
Correct.
Okay, can I roll a perception to see if there's a way to get in here?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Anybody that would like may
rolled
do
an
so.
18.
You rolled an 18, Kilkennan. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the others in a second
Okay.
if they would like to do so. See what they get. Hayden, what did you get?
A 25.
Oh, Jesus. I kind of like want to.
Valray, please.
I just want to like touch it.
Okay.
I just want to touch it. I want to see if like me being submerged would have an effect.
Valray, what did you get?
Oh, nat 20.
Okay, hold on. What are these rolls that you have tonight?
Well, I mean, thankfully, I rolled an 11, but thankfully I have so much investigation that I can get an 18 from an 11. So
And Ludwig, what did you
that's
get?
all I had.
Oh, I didn't roll. But I would like to use another feature just in case, because I've noticed we're around a lot of magical lighting, and in case the lights go out, I'm going to use Eyes of Night, so everyone has 300 feet of dark vision for the next hour.
Beautiful. So we watch as Ludwig's eyes flash across. Ludwig, are you drawing your helm at the same time?
Yeah, at this point we're in creepy territory. The helmet's on.
So you all watch as you just barely manage to make out the flash of like gold across Ludwig's eyes as the helm closes over top. That like almost segmented, now we understand, less fish-like but more almost like insectoid carapace-like helmet closes over top of Ludwig. and like lights the area, and you all watch as that same golden flash hits each of your eyes. Vilray, Caden, and Kilcannon. You all look on as Rakra approaches the wall, kind of like keeping hands on it, almost confused, almost looking around for a spot to reach it. And Caden, Kilcannon, and Velray, the three of you just managed to make out where part of the stained glass wall itself starts to wrap its hand around Rakra's wrist. I need all of you to make initiative checks. Rakra, I need you to make it at disadvantage.
Hmm.
17.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Oh no, not this.
Well,
Not us getting
that's what
attacked
you
by
get
a
when you got
window.
somebody who's book smart but not street smart.
We're fighting a wall, everyone. We're fighting a wall.
You know?
Okay, so like dear everyone at home who's a little bit shook at this moment, you know how we talk about the big bad of the game being doors? Wesselhouse had decided to actually do that for y'all for real.
Look,
I mean, there is a demon wall in Final
listen.
Fantasy 14. I'm just saying.
Listen. So, Rakra, you got a 17, is that correct?
Yeah.
Hayden, what did you get?
A total of 18.
18. Kilcannon, what did you get on your initiative?
15.
Ludwig.
23.
Okay. Calm
I
it
rolled a nat
down.
20.
Calm it down. Belray.
I was so busy like perceiving. I rolled a 1, 2.
Oh! Oh my gosh.
Belray's like, this is
can't.
really
No,
happening.
Velray saw this and was just like, this is the thing from my nightmares, and I am literally shook.
Literally shook.
and Velray, it literally is. You look before you and you see that exact same stained glass window, and you watch as a portion of the cultists that you see before you almost form a hand and wrap themselves around Rakra's wrist. Ludwig, we are gonna start with you.
And it just looks like stained glass grabbing on to Rocker's wrist.
Exactly.
All right. I take a little gander here. I'm gonna just very swiftly unsheath my sword, two-handed, and go to like stab the window and hope to shatter it.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll, please.
That's 23 again.
That is
Jesus.
going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
Well, that's a 1 on the damage dice, but +3, so 4 damage.
4 damage as you go to make an attack roll. As you stab into it, it hits the edge of the glass and it doesn't penetrate as much as you thought it would. And even as it digs into the glass, you watch as the glass doesn't start to shatter. And you watch as the entire portion where the tide would be almost turns itself like a head to look at you.
Oh. All right. I'm going to try and do my best to stay close to this thing so it doesn't get past me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Caden, what is your dexterity modifier, please?
3.
You get to go before the creature.
Interesting. Okay. So so this big creature, what did Ludwig just try to attack it with?
He just tried to attack it with a longsword, which, Ludwig, remind me, I believe that does slashing damage?
Slashing or piercing?
Slashing or piercing.
Okay. So, and I just saw that attack and I saw how it went, right? Okay.
Correct.
Then, um, and like we're gonna be out here with with a longbow, and how far are we from the back of the room?
You are at the entrance. So I would say the room itself is about only 20 feet long and 20 feet wide. Like this,
Okay, so not
this is like an antechamber that ends at the stained glass.
okay. So, do I happen to have a thing here? Nope, we're just gonna have to make this work. Okay. Bonus action. I'm going to activate Planar Warrior.
Okay, so you're gonna mark the one that is attached to Rakra that Ludwig attached as your target.
Yep. And then we're going to try to attack it with this longbow.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay. Right. Attack here. That is a 23 to hit.
That absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll damage both for your longbow and your planar warrior, and give me them separately, please.
Okay. Um. Oh, actually, you're gonna have fun with this one. Um. Give me a second while I get another D8 real quick.
Scandalous. I love this.
Scandalo.
Scandalo.
Okay. So we have 7 damage from the longbow, and we have an additional single point of extra force damage from this planar warrior ability.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you watch as your arrow sinks in, and you watch as the creature almost just like looks down at like the arrow sticking into the glass and like looks back at you. And then as it does, you actually watch as the force surrounds the arrow tip and sinks it in further and creates a little tiny crack in the stained glass.
Um, I look at Kilkennan at this moment and just kind of gesture at the hole in the glass.
It is now the creature's turn, or shall I say, the two creatures' turn.
Ah,
You watch as the creature that has Rakra's hand throws Rakra aside and pulls out, and you watch as an entire section of the cultists and up into the tide turns into an entire stained glass longsword. And they go to attack Ludwig. You actually watch as sections of their body slowly start to reform themselves, and the small cracks that Ludwig and Caden were able to make slowly start to reform themselves. But first, Ludwig, they're going to make 2 glass sword attacks against you.
I wish they would.
An 11 is definitely not going to hit. Does a dirty 20 hit your armor class?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
So you are going to take 8 points of slashing damage as the first attack grazes off of your armor and the second attack finds its way inside, and you feel this sharp pain of jagged glass stab into you. You watch as the other half of the wall of stained glass slowly pulls itself from the wall itself and turns to the other 3 of you, Velray, Kilcannon, and Caden. And I need the 3 of you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
mm,
I feel like I'm not gonna make this one.
1 second. dropped my dice and it rolled at the desk.
That's okay. That's okay.
That is an 8 for that con saving throw.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
muted, but I
Vote
was like, oh my god, we're twinning again.
You also got an 8.
Yeah.
I don't know what's with the dice tonight. It's a full
I don't
moon,
know.
right?
And
Well, like,
Kilcannon,
we
what
already
is
know that
your Constitution
canonically
saving throw?
17.
Velray and I only roll in duet.
So, Kilcannon, you are fine. Velray and Caden, you actually watch as this figure steps out from the stained glass wall. You can see behind it is still like glass itself, but it appears that it has like formed itself from it. And you watch as this brilliant array of light begins to shine from behind and within the glass, and it lets out in this cone, enveloping Velray, Caden, and Kilcannon. Kilcannon, you are fine. Caden and Velray, you are blind for 1 minute, and you may make a saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
The
Okay.
stained glass enemy that just did that, did it have to walk away from where it was to do that, to get closer to them, or?
It did. You may make an attack of opportunity if you would like, Luke.
Yes, with Sentinel. I don't know if that keeps it away from them or not, but
It would
it's worth a
not,
try.
but it wouldn't be able to keep going.
Okay. That is a 22 to hit.
That absolutely hits the other stained glass golem. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay, better. 11 points of slashing damage.
Sure. So it still doesn't have the same effect as you would expect, but it definitely like keeps it in place. Like you manage to like wrap, as it like lets out this brilliant light burst, you like wrap your sword around it and almost drag it back to you.
Sweet.
Like
Awesome.
keeping, basically the two of them are now like literally next to each other, locked in combat with you. And Rakra is like back and to the side of you. That is going to bring us to Rakra.
Hi. I am going to, just out of like sheer adrenaline, I'm going to bring out my astral self, my arms of the astral self.
Wonderful. So as a part of using the key points required to bring out your arms of the astral self, you are allowed to make an attack roll with that. Is that correct?
Yes. Give me a second because I gotta get to that point. Okay. Yes. So where
And
do I don't
is that an action to bring out your arms, or is that a bonus action? Because I believe it's a bonus action.
it's under action.
Okay, so it is an action to summon your astral arms, and
Yes.
then every turn after that, you can make a attack with your astral arms as a part of a bonus action.
Okay.
So go ahead and make an attack with your bonus, with your action, to
Okay.
like punch with your astral arms.
Okay. So I am actually going to use my strength. Because I could do wisdom or strength. I'm gonna use my strength.
Correct.
Oh, that's a nat 20 plus 6, baby.
Perfect. So you let out this like almost primal cry, and Kilcannon, you recognize it more than the others, but I would say, what's everybody's natural insight? Caden, Ludwig, Velray, what do you normally have for insight?
Like passive?
Yeah.
Do you want my passive? Yeah, 14.
Yeah,
17.
Caden, you're good. Jesus, Ludwig, you're good.
14.
All right, never mind. All of you are good. Okay, never mind. Come on, insightful party and a group of investigators. Whatever, it's fine. All four of you recognize that as Rakra lets out this primal cry, there is a voice layered over top of Rakra. And you watch as these arms emerge from behind Rakra and just pummel into this stained glass golem that is attacking Ludwig. So Rakra, go ahead and roll for damage.
It is a 7.
Was that the roll of the die plus your strength modifier?
So yeah, I got 2d4 plus 4 because it was a nat 20.
Beautiful. Yeah. So that's everything all together.
Yes.
You're wonderful. You're amazing. Great. So that was 7 points of damage, and that is 7 points of unrestricted damage, because it is force damage from your fists. Beautiful, wonderful. And you also have a bonus action, so you are within range enough to just deliver a normal punch. Because the
So
attack that you're able to do is a part of the action of summoning your arms. And anytime you take the attack action, you can take a bonus action, just a normal swing with your regular fist.
so I can just do a regular unarmed strike?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so I will do that. And that is an 8.
So you like punch forward and you collide with a really like heavy, thick piece of glass, and you like pull your hand back and like, okay, great,
Maybe not.
maybe astral arms is the way. God, oh, you like shaking off your hand a second as you like knuckles collided with like thick glass. And that is gonna bring us to Kill Cannon.
I reach into my robes and I pull out this all black wood, black metal pistol, and I point it directly at the same area that Caden had pierced earlier, in trying to hit the same general area that he'd hit for the glass golem.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll, Kill Cannon.
Let's see here. That would be 16. 16?
A 16 does hit. Go
Okay.
ahead and roll for damage.
7 plus 4, 11 points of damage for my pistol.
Oh, all right. Simmer down, children. Thank you. As that hits in, you can see like it hits the spot and it burrows a little bit further in, and a few more splinters of glass erupt from that same spot. It seems that they build on what Caden had already done previously, and they continue out from there.
Am I allowed to use my homunculus as a bonus action?
You can use your bonus action to command Vrice to do an action.
Then I will command Vrice to use a force strike on the golem I had just attacked as well.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll an attack roll with Vrice.
Let's see here. Range attack plus 4 hit. Okay. Just a 10.
A 10 does not hit. Bryce tries to strike at the golem creature, and it's like glass is too thick and too heavy to like reach through.
It's okay, Bryce. You tried.
And that is going to then bring us to Velray.
I can't see, right?
You are currently blind until the end of your turn.
Can I try to cast this spell? And like view it as like, oh, I've been punched in the face before. Like, can I
'Cause
just
you,
try
like-
to like hit where I last remember it?
Give me an Arcana check at. We'll just say like a standard Arcana check then. Hold on? Is this a targeted spell or is this an area of effect spell?
I was gonna cast Fairy Fire.
Okay, so I would say that's an area of an effect. So
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead and
okay.
just give me a regular Arcana check then.
Okay. Oh, 21 total.
Yeah, yeah. So you like regularly know the area that would be there. So I'm gonna say that the both creatures. What's the saving throw that both creatures have to make?
Um, they have to save from Dex 14.
Perfect. Is that creatures of your choice, or is that just creatures within the range?
Mm.
According to the spell.
Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also highlighted. Oh wait, oops.
Okay, no, that's okay. So
That's fine.
Ludwig and Rockra will have to make the saving throw as well. So Ludwig and Rockra, give me a dexterity saving throw.
20.
Uh,
I got a 9. Does it matter if I'm proficient in it or not?
it would be whatever your bonus would be to it.
So 9.
So both of the creatures and Rockra are lit up in this brilliant, shimmering, fairy light. So, Rockra and both of the creatures will have advantage on attack rolls made against them.
Sorry, my brain just stopped working. So when they attack me, if they hit,
No,
I
no.
take
So
one.
if they try to attack you, they'll have advantage on the attack roll
Oh,
because you're
perfect.
kind of like you're lit up in like essentially the equivalent of like brilliant, shimmering Vegas lights.
Baby, you're a
I
But they
mean,
are as well. But they
that's
are as
fine.
well.
That's
There's
fine.
more of us.
I've always wanted to be an extra in Twilight.
Rockra is finally the shining beacon that they've deserved to be from the get-go.
Hey, oh.
That's gonna then turn around and bring us to Velray, do you have any bonus actions, anything like that you'd like to do?
No.
Okay. So that's gonna bring us to Ludwig. So Ludwig, both of the creatures are lit up with fairy fire, so you are gonna have advantage on any attack rolls that you make against them.
Okay. I am going to oh man. I guess yeah. Okay. So I will firstly go I after the movement where I brought the one glass creature back towards me, and that same swipe of bring him back, I'm gonna take that momentum and slash again at the other one that had originally attacked me.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me an attack roll at advantage because it's lit up by fairy fire.
Okay, that is 17 to hit.
That absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay, that's 5 slashing damage.
Noted.
And then with my other hand, I will kind of like put it on whatever the blade was that stabbed me, like grab my side for a second, reposition myself, and when I reach over to grab my shield, you'll see me kind of like flick my fingers, and another spiritual weapon will form, kind of behind the one that I just attacked, and almost like simultaneously as I hit with mine, almost like a scissor action from the other side comes the spiritual weapon. Um,
You do get an advantage on the attack roll because it is still lit up by fairy fire.
that's a 23 to hit.
That absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage, and this is force damage, correct?
This is force damage.
Great.
I think it's just a flat dice. No, it
No,
gets
you
my
get to add
spellcasting
your
modifier.
you get to add your spellcasting.
So that's 11 force damage.
All right, that's fine.
It's the wheezing for me.
Wow. Okay.
It's what Ludwig is trained to do.
Look, it's fine. I'm not upset at the incredible spell that clerics get. It's fine. Moving on. We're okay.
Yeah.
Hayden, it's your turn.
Okay,
We're
so
fine.
I don't get a save until the end of my turn, right?
Until the end of your turn, correct.
Okay. Okay. So while like actually, you know what I should do? I should just go here and do this and it'll just tell me what happens. Okay, so let's see. What does this do? What does blinded mean? Uh, Actually, what does that mean as a condition? Let me expand this because I'm seeing this.
Great.
Okay.
So when you are blind,
Ooh.
you technically may not target things that you have line of sight to. However, if you have things that are area of effect, or you may attempt to try to do things to things at disadvantage if you are specifically trying to target at things that you have already seen.
Okay, I am going to attempt to do a somewhat awful thing. Before we got down here, I want to ask if I can make a history check. Very specifically, I would like to know or see if I can recall if any of the tracks that Ludwig described had any, signs of things like rodents.
You did not see any type of like small living creature other than like humanoid across the upstairs leading down here.
Hmm. Okay. I'll have to save that shenanigan for later then. Um, do I have AoE things? I don't think I do have AoE things. At least not any that would be useful right now. So, um, saving throw it is.
All right.
Okay, that is a 16 for the con save.
You absolutely save at the end of your turn. Oh, Velray, by the way, Velray, if you can give me a saving throw as well. Because you would do so at the end of your turn. So Caden, at the end of your turn, you save and you are no longer blind from the stained glass golems. And Velray, what did you get? It would be
15.
you are also no longer blind at the end of your turn.
E-
So it is going to come back to them. You watch as one of them starts stitching, the one that you all had been attacking starts stitching itself back somewhat. It isn't able to do so all the way because of the force damage that it had received, but it is somewhat able to do so. So it is going to try to look at Ludwig and Rakra, and it is going to try to let loose its blast of dazzling light. I need both of you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Who?
Ludwig and Rakra.
11.
Rakra, you are safe.
10.
Ludwig, you are just safe. So as the light hits, you just manage to shield your eyes long enough to like reorient yourself, and you are fine. The other one, Ludwig, is going to try to get past you with its movement. You may choose to use your reaction to stop it.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and
100%.
give me an attack roll.
Advantage still?
Yes, because both of them are still lit up by Velray's fairy fire spell.
Okay.
Such
That
a good
hits.
spell, y'all. By the way,
It is so good.
anybody watching, bring fairy fire early. Like, if you are within like the first 5 levels of D&D, bring fairy fire. Give your melee combatants advantage on all the people that they're fighting because they're just gonna wreck shit. Do it. It's wonderful.
That's 10 points of. I'm
What?
sorry, 8 points of slashing damage. I had
What?
24 to hit.
Okay, great. Wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you were like, wonderful. This is absolutely hitting. I'm just gonna move right across to the damage part of
Moving right
today.
along.
Sorry.
Thanks. How much damage was that?
8 slashing.
8 slashing, perfect. So it doesn't take full effect because of the nature of the stained glass creature, but it does stop itself from moving. And as you pull it right back again, it turns its stained glass head and is going to take 2 glass sword attacks against Ludwig. Congratulations. Welcome to being the tank. If you're going to pull aggro, you'll get aggro.
You'll get it.
One is a nat 20,
Maybe hits.
and the other one is a 2. So the 2 is definitely not going to hit. But the other attack is going to be... that is going to be 8 points of slashing damage total.
Okay.
And that is going to bring us to Rakra. It is your turn.
All right. I am going to go in with my arms of my astral self and just really like try to find and hone in on that weak point to like start breaking into some more.
Perfect. So you can use your action and your bonus action to make 2 attacks with it. So first attack, go ahead and roll an
Okay.
attack. Are you going to target the one that's been heavily injured or the one that Ludwig just drew back?
The one that's been heavily injured. And
Wonderful.
I have advantage.
Yes, you do, because
So I roll twice, take the higher.
You got it.
I'm learning.
It's okay. We had a week off. We're back into it.
That's a 12.
A 12 just hits the creature.
Okay. And that's going to be 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
It is still up, so you do still have your other arm.
I actually am I close enough to use flurry of blows?
You are.
Okay, so then I'm gonna do that for my bonus action.
Perfect. So go ahead and spend another key point, and then you get 2 bludgeoning attacks with your normal fist, not with your arms of the astral self.
Okay, so I have 2 key that I spent, correct?
Because you spent 1 to activate your arms, and you spent
Yes.
1 to do this flurry of
Okay.
blows. Correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I got you.
That's a whole 18 to
Okay.
hit.
And the second attack?
7.
You do
Just
have
a-
advantage still.
Oh,
All
crap.
attacks
Oh,
still have
crap.
advantage.
Okay. Yeah, no, the 18's better. And then 7 for damage.
For 7 damage, and then what's the
Yeah.
second attack?
Flurry blow gets 2.
Because your flurry of blows, and you get to attack twice.
They rolled a
Oh.
12 for their second attack.
Oh,
But I have advantage, so I have to
yeah.
roll
So
again.
roll again just in
So
case.
many rolling.
But the 12,
So
I
many
know
rolling.
there's so much.
17. I'm gonna take that. That's
Great.
better.
Yeah. Perfect. So I will say the 7 damage is going to obliterate the first one. So
Okay.
you watch as it shatters. As it shatters, you watch as actually half of the stained glass wall dims in color and light. And then you go to attack with the other one, and you manage to like move forward and punch with your other hand at the other one. And you do manage to hit. Go ahead and roll damage for the second attack.
I got a 6.
6. Perfect. As your fist connects, similar to the force damage, as you connect in, you actually watch as it splinters through the glass, and you watch as the creature isn't able to start reforming that part of the damage. That is going to bring us to Kilcannon.
I, with a flourish, bring my pistol to bear and go for yet another shot at the glass
At
creature.
the one that is left standing. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
19 plus 6, 25.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, please, as you hit. My lord, y'all are rolling high tonight.
That's 6 damage total for that one.
6 damage total. Perfect. So it does hit, but it doesn't manage to find the same kind of purchase. You realize that the like the type of damage that you are dealing to this creature is not enough to like puncture through all of its armor. It does have some purchase, but not as much as has been done before.
Then I'll command Bryce to go for a force strike attack as well.
Go for it. Give me an attack roll from Bryce, and you do get advantage on Bryce's attack as well,
Oh, thank goodness.
because they are
That
still
was a
lit up by
6.
Velray's light.
The first one was a 6, so that's delightful. Okay, 21.
21 definitely is. As long as Velray is able to stay concentrating on the fairy fire, which as long as Ludwig is able to keep sentinel attacks from reaching Velray, y'all will be fine. Come on, combos.
That'll be
Yeah.
another 6 damage.
Another 6 damage, and is that specifically force damage?
It is force damage, yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful. So that does take full purchase. And you watch as Bryce rips into this creature, and you watch as it's starting to splinter and crack all over its body. That is going to bring us finally to Velray.
Okay, so I can see now, which is dope. I'm gonna try to cast a spell. I'm gonna keep it simple for now. Let's do a firebolt.
A firebolt. Go
Mm.
ahead and give me an attack roll against the creature. And because you are still concentrating on fairy fire, it does still have advantage.
A Oh, I hit a nat 20.
Hey!
Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Can I or yeah, I was about to
What?
be like, can I twin it? But that'd be obnoxious.
So, in order to twin it, you would have to be able to target 2 different things.
Oh, okay.
So twin spell, you can twin something as long as you're able to choose 2 different targets against something.
So I rolled a 12 for the. Do I like roll twice or is it just once?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
As
That's
you
a lot of damage.
as your firebolt erupts from your finger, it finds the spot in which Bryce has been boring into this creature, and you watch as it hits right in the center, and you watch as the fire starts to expand through the glass. And as it does, all of a sudden it erupts in this shatter of glass sparks. Rockwood and Ludwig, you like turn yourself away for a second to like kind of like shield your face. But like all of the glass just kind of like shatters past all of you. As it does, you watch as the second half of the wall slowly turns to like dull gray. And as it does, eventually the entire stained glass wall shatters inward. As it does, Ludwig, you hear from somewhere deep within you. Yes. Inward. Onward. We hunger. We feed. Go. Push. Fight. Yes.
Are we out of combat?
You are.
I'm going to simultaneously, while dealing with the things that just exploded in front of me from that incredible firebolt, I'm gonna back up a few steps, kind of stagger, holding my head, and do I feel any differently?
You feel the light around your helmet clawing, scraping, almost gnashing, pulling you forward almost into the room that was just unveiled.
I'm gonna do a roll for myself for composure really quick.
Are
Go
you
ahead
wearing
and
your
give me
helmet?
go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, Ludwig.
So we can't even see this.
You can't even
Correct.
see me.
Oh my god.
Wisdom saving throw.
Correct.
I have advantage on those. Thank God. It didn't matter.
Not
That's
that.
a 14 though.
A 14. Rockro, what's your passive insight?
Mm, I don't know. It says wisdom. Oh no, I'm just kidding. It's a 13.
13. Okay. So I'll say you just miss it, but Caden, Kilcannon, and Velray, Rocker, you probably like were shielding your eyes, trying to like keep yourself from getting like shattered glass splattered in your face. But
Yeah.
Velray, Kilcannon, and Caden, the three of you were far enough back. You see Ludwig almost take like an involuntary step forward and catch himself. Like you see like a purposeful step forward and then stopping towards the room that was just unveiled.
Oh,
As
you
I-
good? Did I hit you with some glass? I'm sorry.
you can't see Ludwig's face, but he'll like shake his head like he's shaking his hair, like getting the glass off of him for a second or trying to wake up. And he'll turn around and go to take off his helmet, but like stops just before touching whatever device, pulls it back, and then puts his hand back down. And be like, yeah, no, did you guys hear anything else?
No.
No.
Why?
I thought I heard something for a second, but it may have just been the glass shattering. And as he's talking, you'll see him kind of like wave his hand in there and like press to the side his side, and like a little light flash will go off. It's almost as if he's cauterizing whatever where he was just stabbed. And I'm gonna cast Healing Word really quick because I'm bleeding.
I'm very
Ludwig,
wary of this because I have with my detect magic, I hadn't heard anything, and there was no magic going on because of that where he staggered. So I'm still very suspicious.
and Koken, you're able to detect the magical elements of the helmet itself, but you don't detect anything beyond that. Um but Ludwig, as you go to like heal your wounds, you hear from inside you, "What are you waiting for? They don't understand us. They're just holding you back. Go, consume, feed."
Hold on for a moment.
What'd you say?
Wetzel, I have just sent you a thing. I would like you to read that because I don't want to ask that question
Okay,
out loud.
great. No, that's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Uh,
Please continue.
you do.
Mm,
You sense it both from like further within in the chamber and from around and behind Ludwig.
okay. Okay.
Uh, I think at the insistence of that voice, Ludwig, while very stoic at times, in the face of danger, uh, is probably going to look his body language just looks very strange. He's not able to really compose himself now. You just see he's very like, he looks like he's like wavering a little bit, and he keeps like going to touch his head but not touching his head at the same time.
Hey, Ludwig. Ludwig.
And he'll like look at you. He obviously can't still see his face. It's just this bright light coming off of his head, but he's looking in your direction. Yeah.
Call this one a hunch or what have you, right? But a couple of things. One, try to breathe a little bit because if you know anything about the tide, it will take the first moment of overwhelming emotion or passion and grab onto you and refuse to leave you. This is something that I know that you know. The other thing is, and I give you a very knowing look when I say this, nod twice if you need help.
Uh, and he like stands still for a second. You can't see any of his facial expressions, unfortunately. Um, but he slowly nods once, and he says, I think I'll take up the rear."
Uh, before any of you can say anything else, you hear from deep within the chamber that was revealed as the stained glass shatters. Within each of your heads, you hear, "Oh, you're going to need much more than that one's help. You hunger so? Come forth and see who devours who." And that, everybody, is where we're going to hold off on tonight's episode of the Eldritch Tide, as we
Ooh.
have made our way into the inner chambers of the cult of the Umbranaeum, and have come face to face with the silence versus whatever this tide like power is. And we'll see what takes hold next week. Uh, for everybody's wonderful enjoyment, we are $30 towards our $250 nightmare gauge. So next week, you can help make that happen and further complicate whatever our players are going to find further within. Thank you so much to every single person, Cthulhu, for rating on in. Every single person who followed, every single person who subscribed, every single person who tipped the nightmare gauge. Thank you all so much for an incredibly fun return to the Eldritch Tide. Casil, Walrus Gloves, everything but straight. Thank you all so much for coming on in and joining us for the first time tonight. This is such an incredibly fun part of this evening, and I am so incredibly excited to see where we end up next week. I'm going to go ahead and hand things around to our wonderful cast members to check things out and to tell you a little bit about where you can find them when they are not here on Monday evenings. And we're going to start things off as we did this evening with the wonderful, the fantastic Sinziak playing Hayden Wintergate or Agent 6.
Hello, my name is Sinziak, as Wessel just said, also playing Kaden, who has a very normal life and doesn't get into trouble whatsoever. You can find me play your favorite RPGs and story-based games and or multiplayer games for shenanigans on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch, or find me at tables like this one playing fun games like D&D and Tidebreaker and other things to be announced. So yeah, those are all the
Ooh.
things.
Absolutely fantastic. And next in line, we have the wonderful Kilcannon playing Kilcannon.
Hi, everyone. If you enjoy Dead by Daylight content, and especially if you like it being in a warm, safe environment where you can also ask a lot of in-depth questions if you're wanting to learn more about the game, feel free to stop by. Always happy to have new people come on in and meet all the other lovely people that spend time as we murder folks. So yeah, thank you, and really appreciate if you could stop on by.
Next in line, we have Haunted Ludwig de Alba.
Hi, I'm Fenris. I play Ludwig. Just a guy trying to do good and maybe not doing it the right way. I am a variety streamer, primarily Friday through Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can catch me either playing games, blowing up something in the kitchen, or reading a book. Come hang out.
Next, we have the amazing Wreck-It Raven playing Rakra.
Hi, it's me. I'm Raven, your best chaotic good goth friend on the dark corners of the internet. I normally stream Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., but I will not be streaming this week because I'm gonna be at PAX. But y'all, if you do catch me streaming, I am probably big gremlin energy, talking about some serious life, real world stuff. Or cussing out some bitch ass ghosts of Phasmo. So come through. It's a good time. And I
Can
play Rockra.
can anyone find you online for anything with PAX
I
or?
mean, so if you actually go to the PAX site, you can see that I am a special guest. I think they still misspelled my name as Rectit Raven,
Not
which I'm
that.
okay with, right? Like the queer in me is very happy, but like that's not my name. Anyway,
Wow.
I think a couple of the panels that I'll be on will be recorded, but they are not live streamed. But yeah, you can just check me out wherever you want. Wreck-It Raven, except for TikTok, Wreck-It.Raven.
Hell yeah. And rounding out our intrepid band of investigators, we have the wonderful Zeffy playing Velray.
Yes. It me, Zeffy, and I play a lot of RPG games also. Tomorrow's Final Fantasy 14, and then I will be returning yet again to Mass Effect. Probably Thursday. We'll see how my week goes. And yeah, I've been playing Velray, and yo, she's actually been rolling really good lately. I'm proud of her. Rough start for her. A lot
I
of
think
low rolls.
I think you managed to do the most damage with a single move the entire campaign.
That
Mhm.
was legit.
I set myself up with that.
It's wonderful. Then,
Ooh,
oh, sorry, go
you're
ahead.
cutting out. You're cutting out a little
Yeah.
Oh,
bit.
no,
in
I
there.
am. Oh, okay. Bam.
You're good now.
Hi.
You're good now.
Beautiful. Hi, everybody. I'm Wesselhausen. I am a queer and non-binary content creator here on Twitch. I do tons of D&D and tabletop RPG content, often with a very, very inclusive focus and an emphasis, because I believe that everybody absolutely should be able to be the heroes of their own stories and tell their own stories. And there's something really, really beautiful about us being able to take genres and storytelling styles that have largely kept us from being able to take part in them and being able to claim them for our own. If you would like to support me or any of these wonderful, wonderful folks, please come find us across all social media platforms. And the biggest thing that I can say, please, please, please do. One, please give to the Nightmare Gauge every single week, because it is a way that we are able to support these wonderful content creators directly and financially every single week. Two, you're able to terrorize them every single week as you do so, which, let's be real, everybody kind of wants to do every once in a while. It's a lot of fun. And three, if you would like to further support the wonderful work that all of us do here, please, please, please head back and clip your favorite moments. If there is a moment tonight that made you laugh, gasp, cry, shriek in terror, please clip that moment, because that is a moment that these wonderful folks are able to add to their TTRPG reels to be able to support themselves in future content. And it is a way that we are able to share the love of all the stories that we tell every single week with every single person out there on the internet, and be able to bring more folks into this wonderful story. And last but not least, every single time one of these wonderful folks talks about an incredible sponsored opportunity that they have, like PAX, like any of the wonderful opportunities that they have, share and retweet that shit. Engage that shit. Share that shit, please. Help all of your favorite content creators by liking, by retweeting, by commenting on all of the wonderful sponsored things that they have going on, because it allows us to take this time that we have every single Monday night and do the things that we want to do. It allows us this opportunity to take time out of our Monday evenings to share the 3 to 4 hours that we have to tell stories together and be able to bring all of you along on this journey. So thank you so, so much for all of your support. Every single thing that you do helps us. There are so many ways that you can help without having to worry about finances, because we are all struggling right now, and I totally understand that. So if you can clip, if you can watch, if you can retweet, if you can like, if you can share, if you can comment, Every single thing helps all of these wonderful folks and us here. So please, please, please help support all of your amazing content creators. We're going to go ahead and head to a break screen, and we're going to find somebody wonderful to raid this evening. But thank you all so much for returning, and thank you all so much for joining us on this incredible, incredible journey. We'll be back next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, to continue our story and see what awaits our players as they head into the inner sanctum deep below the Isinglass Institute. Thank you all so, so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all next Monday. Goodbye.